Hey, I'm ofmyseat here, back again with a brand new video, and today I will be doing my final stream of TMNT, aka Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but this game is literally called TMNT. That's how it's titled on the box. GameCube game, even though it was ported to multiple different consoles, but I will be beating the GameCube port of TMNT. So now I'm going to put it into the Nintendo Wii. Yes, this is live. And right now the Wii is in 4:3 aspect ratio. I can change that. Because the Wii apparently can do 16:9, so it doesn't have to be 4:3. Unlike some other older consoles. It can be a natural 16:9, or at the very least, I think it's natural. Like, we can go into the settings here and like confirm that, because I do remember there being like display settings to make it like a natural 16:9. Oh, that took a while. There we go. Screen, widescreen settings. Yeah, there we go. Look at that. We have widescreen 16:9. I have that selected. If I select this, it's gonna make everything a lot thinner, and it's gonna look like unnatural in 16:9. But if I select the 16:9 option, I'm assuming things are natural in 16:9. So yeah, I will be doing that in order to beat Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles TMNT. And the disc should be in here. I have to use a Wii remote first because I can't use the GameCube controller to navigate this Wiimote sensor. Even though I can use like a Pro controller to navigate it, but not the GameCube controller. Even though you like directly plug it into the console, but like whatever. Boom, GameCube. Time zones are difficult. I don't know, right now for me it is 7 p.m. and hey, I already have a save file here. Why is it telling me to choose a language option? I was assuming like the language we pre-built into like your save file, but okay. Drinking water. Going fine. I don't know, got some summer classes. Like, those have been somewhat difficult, but not too bad. But today I will be beating TMNT. And this is a game which I don't think I've ever beaten as a child. I got very close, but never actually beat the game. Like, I first owned this game for the PC, then I owned it for the Wii. I did not beat either version. The only version of TMNT which I have beaten is the PSP version. So yeah, I think I beat like half of the game first stream, and this stream we're going for the second half. I'm gonna clear the second half. I'm more experienced with this game. Okay, now it's finally accessing my memory. All right. Yeah, look at that, 34%. Oh no. I mean, there's like collectibles and all that, which I'm not going to be doing. This is not 100%. This is just, I want to beat the game. And yeah, look at that. When slime comes. Last time I left off, Raphael, like, I think infiltrated the big tower. And that was like a really important moment. And that level was super cool, which was kind of an outlier because a lot of the levels in this game tend to blend together, and I was getting very bored of the game by the end of it. I was like complaining quite heavily about it. So yeah, like, it's been a couple days, so I am somewhat fresh on this game, so I don't think I'm gonna get bored as quickly as I did in that first stream, because man, this game is just like so mid at points. It's like hard to play, even though the jumping's fun. Like, I mean, no, it's the combat. The combat in this game just stinks. It's just so boring and basic, but the jumping's pretty fun. But I do wish this game had more varied like environments, just like played around more, because like that hotel level, which like Raphael does, is so cool because it has all these like different camera angles and like, oh, it's just so inventive. It's such a cool level. I just really like that level. But yeah, the jumping is really fun in this game. It's got, you know, the wall running, all that. Like that's what's best about this game. But then you get into combat and it's just it's stinky. It's bad. It's no good. Although we got the green, the Kiwami water. We can't touch the Kiwami water. We have to watch out for that. It seems this is another one of those levels where you have multiple partners at once, and I forgot how you change between them. I think it's the B button. What's going on here? Oh, so it's wall jump. There we go. Bit of a weird wall jump, like terrain, but whatever. Oh, okay. So it's just like at strict moments that bar will like fully fill up, and yeah. Michelangelo has like the best combos, but to be fair, doing combos in this game is kind of pointless because the best attack is the charge attack. So I never actually did the charge attack as Mikey. That is strange. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I've only done the charge attacks as like Leonardo, Michelangelo, and like Donatello. Never as Mikey, because like, I mean, I kind of avoided Mikey when I was just spamming the charge attacks because apparently Mikey has like the lowest attack, and low attack is just pointless when you need to do the charge attacks. I mean, the combos, I mean, that's like up to preference. I mean, like Mikey's combo is just cool, but if you need like the highest attack, then like, I mean, Mikey's not the way to go. It's like, oh, these combat encounters just do not end. There we go. That's like the first time one of my ground pound like moves actually hits an enemy. Most of the time they do not hit the enemy. They just kind of like, the enemy just kind of blocks and gets knocked off by it. Oh, what? Oh yeah, I was never able to do like those team up moves, and the way you do the team up moves is by holding down B. Oh no! Wait, how did I die? What? Wait! What was that? I was not paying attention. I looked away from the screen for 1 second, and I was dead. I killed all the enemies. What happened? Did a train run me over or something? Like, wait. It's like the combat encounter ends, and then the game is like, okay, if you fail the thing which is not in the combat encounter, you die? Because, like, I mean, I died very quickly. I looked away for like 1 second, and I was dead. Like, the enemies do not deal that much damage. What happened? Oh, wait, you're supposed to avoid a train. Ah. Well, I know that now. Yeah. Look at that. See, most of the time I do a ground pound attack, the enemies do that. They just get knocked back by it. But that one time, they actually got damaged by it. Oh, hey. Yeah, I mean, they just do that. They don't get damaged by it. I mean, I don't know. I mean, there's got to be a way to land the ground pound where it actually damages the enemy. And, okay, so what am I supposed to do with the train? Am I just supposed to get on this train? Okay, there's still more enemies to kill. So let's get him. Like, I know damage this enemy encounter, and then, like, the train came by and ruined everything. So ready for Come on. Serious criminal butt whooping. So how do I avoid the train? Oh, there we go. Ah. Yeah.
Whoa, dude, what's that sound?
Wait.
It sounds like the ground is.
So there's just like a little room to wait out the train? Oh, never mind. Once the train comes, it knocks you into this place. Alright. But yeah, like I said, like the movement and platforming, pretty fun. Like, I mean, some things are like a little bit inconsistent, but for the most part, this is like the best part of the game. Like, I mean, I guess like it's not that complicated. I guess that's like, I don't know. Like, I mean, there isn't that much to it, but what is here is pretty fun. Even if it is kind of like, you know, pretty simple. Like, I mean, to be fair, there's also like challenge runs where you have to play the game as like fast as possible, and I'm not really engaging with any of that. So I feel like if I do engage with that stuff more, like I'll probably appreciate the platforming more. But as of right now, the platforming is pretty fun, but it does get kind of samey, especially with how long these levels can be, and especially with all like the stupid combat encounters like throughout. Like, and I'm not doing very well. Should probably switch to Mikey, get that platforming ability.
Whoa, look at that, guys. The old sewer system.
Dude, you've seen one sewer, you've seen them all.
Better be careful.
Yeah, we've
guys.
seen like a bajillion sewer systems in this game. Yes! I am so happy. This is one of my favorite things in the game, where you have to like jump and there's like electric water involved. I love this. Oh, it does not get better than this. It does not get better than this, I tell you. Loved like the electric water sections in this game. Oh, like, I'm very nostalgic for those. And just like most things in this game, it appears a lot. Like, I don't know, I thought that'd be like a one-level gimmick, but it appears here too. But you know what? I don't care. It's still, I like it quite. Oh,
I hate this place, and I hate waste. Careful.
Like, I mean, the most fun I've had with the platforming in this game is probably like the Donatello level, like the first Donatello, the first Donatello level, and then like the last level with like Raphael and like the hotel. Like that stuff was fun, especially like the Raphael one with like the way the camera kept switching and like the gimmicks kept like gimmicking around. Like, it was cool. Oh, so we got a pretty cool camera here. Like, you got descent. Like, I mean, the camera here can be very dynamic and cool, and not too frustrating a lot of the time for the platforming. So, you know, very nice on that.
This doesn't look like a subway. Wait, it's some sort of mine, but who? I say we get back up.
Like, I don't know, if this game was more focused on the platforming or just frankly had better combat, then this would be a lot more of a classic. But right now, it's just like, it's just too boring at points for me to like fully love it.
I really think we have to pick up the pace, guys. This place is completely unstable.
I mean, especially since like the movie, like the combat in the movie is so cool. So for that to be like the worst part of this game is like a bit of a tragedy. And especially since like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles as like just has like a history of like really great beat 'em up games. So like for the beat 'em up elements in this game, it just kind of suck. That's also unfortunate. Cause it's like you got Turtles in Time, and it's like that's so sick and rad, and then you move to this, and it's just so boring and bad. I keep messing up at the same exact section. I'm not being careful.
I kind of agree with Gizmo.
This is the part. Okay, I don't know why I keep messing up this part. Okay, but this time it's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. Like, I'm getting some abysmal times because I keep messing up.
Yeah.
I definitely don't. You know, maybe in the future I might plan on speedrunning this game. I mean, like, I don't know. If I'm ever going to no damage this game, I would not do it by like a boss fight basis. I would do it by like an entire game basis. But it's just like the one thing that like stops me from doing that are those combat encounters. It's just they drag everything out so much, and like I also want to do these levels in one take. And
Oh no.
if I recall, you can press Y as you land after a jump to do a roll. Ooh, that's pretty cool. Okay. Oh, look at that! Yeah, okay, so if you jump and then press Y when you hit the ground, you can do a roll to keep your momentum going. Okay, so for speedrunning, that's pretty cool. There we go, so speedrunners must love that move. But to be fair, I mean, the speedruns which I saw, I never saw anyone utilizing that, or maybe I just didn't pay attention to people utilizing that. Oh, it requires some timing. Hey! Come on, man. What? Come on, man. I'm trying to do the roll here. There we go, that's the roll.
It's the foot. I know.
Okay, it definitely requires some time.
Working for Winters.
Okay, so Raphael, I'm assuming, has the most attack, but I do not have him unlocked yet, so I just have to deal with these guys. And you got some reach! Stop reaching. Ugh.
Yeah.
Let me do the chart thing. Ah! So yeah, There's a little God of War dodge roll. Even though it's like a little bit more clunky than the God of War one.
Dude, tag me in.
Oh yeah, we can do the big super attack, I think.
Let your energy flow through me. Right on.
Oh, does doing those attacks unlock more points? Oh, there you go. So here's Mikey's version. Oh! Okay, so doing that gives you coins? Okay, that's something.
Impeccable balance.
Oh, these are
I
nice.
believe you owe it to
Okay, so
yourself to practice more often.
so they have different effects. So the Mikey one is like a spinning attack that you can control, like his combos. The Leonardo one is like a shockwave. No, not a shockwave, like an earthquake. And then the Donatello one is like exactly like Leo's, except that you shoot electricity instead of doing like a shock, like a earthquake.
Yeah.
So, and also the enemies are kind of stunned for a bit, so you can go punch them. So, like Donatello's is like kind of worse than Leo's. Okay, so Raphael's. I don't know how Raphael's is. Okay, are there any more? There's a lot more enemies to fight. Okay, let's get them. Oh, come! Oh, wait. So Raphael's may be the worst one. Okay.
Perfect line, better approach.
There we go. Mikey's maybe the best one. Ah! Missed the coin. Like, look at this. Look how long this encounter is taking. Like, this dissuades me from doing that no damage thing. Like, it's like, ugh. Just a whole lot of nothing. Like, it's still going. Oh, we can use the specials against the boss fights. Okay, nice. Great. Wall jump. Oh, not the Kiwami room.
Whatever you do not touch the slime. Yeah, it's disgusting.
Like, the Kiwami room is pretty cool, I won't lie. Here's a nice little challenge. Very strong colors. I think it's definitely making use of, like, the Kiwami gradient better than Kiwami.
Time to work together, guys.
Oh,
Now's no time to slip off. Careful! Whoa! Tell me again. Why are we down here?
that was the wrong way to go.
Time to work together, guys. Now's no time to slip off. Careful! Whoa! Tell me again. Why are we down here? All right! Can't be! Time to work together, guys. Now's no time to slip off. Careful! Whoa! Tell me again. Why are we down here?
Ooh, like, I love how fast this game makes you feel at points, especially when you're like doing the wall running there. The wall runs have this like nice momentum. Like, I gotta spam the Kiwami button to get out of the Kiwami pond. Ah, that's frustrating. Oh, that's weird. Oh, there's a little special coin there. Okay. Ooh, what do we do here? Okay, nice. Okay, here, this is a little confusing. I don't know what to do here. There is another platform there. Okay, Mikey. My man Mikey. There we go, checkpoint, nice. I don't know what it is, but it's like the most fun platforming with Raphael, because like I have a preference. Also, like his red trail is like the coolest trail out of all the trails. Like, I don't know what it is. It's the coolest one. Damn, like Donatello doesn't even have a trail. What did they do to you? Why does he not have a trail? Raphael's got a trail. Leo's got a trail. Mikey's got a trail. Donatello. Oh, like you think purple would be such a strong color with like a trail, but it's like it's so faint. I can barely see it. What did they do to you? They stole like your style, man. That is so embarrassing for Donatello. And aw.
You ready, big guy?
Oh, that's like an insta kill. Nice. There's a long jump while you're double jumping? Oh, I didn't know you could do that. Like, I mean, there's like the team up move you can do. You do like a double jump and then you press B to like extend your jump. I did not know there was like another double jump. Okay, that's a movement tech I was not aware of. Okay, very nice.
You know, 2 shells are better than 1.
Like, I don't know if you have if that like makes you do a long jump though, because like I thought pressing X while you're in the air makes you do a ground pound. So I don't know how like the two things can coexist. So maybe you're thinking about something else. Probably the B move. Oh. Okay, that was a very brief combat encounter. Very nice. I prefer them brief, because this combat doesn't have enough depth to make them like super long.
We're out. In your face.
Like I think what you're referring to is
At
this.
least we can maneuver
And,
now.
oh, I took damage.
Ew,
Oh, my
my
goodness.
shell stinks.
Oh,
I don't deserve to be
okay. Yeah, like that one. I think that's what you're referring to.
Oh yeah.
Oh, there's no ground there. Okay. I mean, no, opposite. There is ground there. Okay, so there's no threat at that current moment. That sounded real gloopy. That sound design, that was so gloopy. Super gloopy. That sound design. Okay, so we're getting some pretty cool platforming design here. Very nice. It still is kind of simple, but there we go. Like, I don't know, when I say this game's like a little too long, I mean, it's like, hey, we've been here for like nearly 18 minutes.
amazing. Can you take a look at this place? Wow. It's a church.
Dude,
Oh, it looks like we're gonna
this
enter a
place
boss
rocks.
fight or something. Well, we entered a combat
Underground
arena.
church?
Close
This place
enough.
sure is busy. Am I the only one who thinks this sucks? Yes.
Wait, what advantages does Donatello have? Because, like, I mean, if Raphael has, like, the max attack, does Donatello have, like, a max something else? I don't know what it is. Hey! Don't do that. Because I think purple is, like, my favorite color out of the colors here. But, like, his streak is so bad. At least in this area, it does not stand out at all.
Incredible. Yippee!
Oh, oh! This archer's getting defensive. Oh, man. Oh, that is the first time an archer has like interrupted my charge attack.
All right. Stinking rookies.
Oh.
All right.
Oh, that's pretty cool design, okay. What did I just stand on? I could have sworn I just fall to the ground, but nope, I was standing on something. Oh! Well, now I fell into something. Does this actually lead anywhere, or...? This kind of reminds me of those, like, Assassin's Creed tombs. Which is funny. Because, like, Assassin's Creed, all the movement is, like, automated. So there's, like, no platforming in that game. It's all, like, puzzle-based, like, find a path sort of thing. This is actually, like... This is some actual platforming in comparison to Assassin's Creed. Like, yeah, the platforming here, like, I mean... It's better than Assassin's Creed. And, where am I? What? What happened? What? What was that? Like, yeah, I mean the ones in Assassin's Creed 2. I did like one of them. Like, I do like Assassin's Creed 2. It's just that, like, platforming in that game is like you just hold a button and it does it for you. And like the most complicated thing is which path do you want to take? Well, here it's like it's very simplistic, but like there is mechanics here. There are like physics. You can jump. You can freaking jump left and right. You know what I mean? You can press a button when you hit the floor to roll. Like, I mean, there's actual like platforming mechanics here. Assassin's Creed doesn't have any of that. I don't think it ever will, unless they added like actual platforming in the newer games or something. I don't know. Alright, so here I think it wants me to wall run. There we go, like that. Very satisfying wall run. I mean, at least Assassin's Creed has like more game than this. This is just like... To be fair, I don't even know. I have not played Assassin's Creed in a long while. But I mean, the thing about the platforming in Assassin's Creed is that it just gives you like more verticality to like do sneaking and assassinations, and I appreciate that a lot. And also just more verticality to explore the world. So it's like more of an exploratory thing, not so much a fun platforming thing. It's just like, hey, it's cool that I can climb a building, even though climbing a building isn't very skillful. So like, it's not a big issue, but it's just like, you know, don't get it twisted. There is no platforming in Assassin's Creed. Like, to my knowledge, at this exact moment. Like, there's, at most, there are puzzle elements. Like, some of the towers are, like, a little weird to climb. I remember in, like, Brotherhood... Ah! I remember in Brotherhood, there was, like... You have to, like, climb the Colosseum at one point, and I just kind of got lost. I didn't know, like, which part of the Colosseum to climb. I did beat Brotherhood, so eventually I figured it out, but, like, at the moment, I didn't know. And that took a while. Also, I never knew that, like, Raiden was in Brotherhood. Never knew about that. In fact, when I was playing Brotherhood, I don't think I was that into... Oh! I don't think I was that into Metal Gear, so I didn't catch that. Okay, how... What's the plan here? What? Ah, oh, come on. I'm just gonna switch to Mikey for good luck.
That's the stuff. Gotta go. You know, drive to fly, butts to kick.
Did I just kill Raphael? Oh my goodness, he died.
Awesomely super sensationalistic, bro.
I just killed him.
Oh yeah.
What? Dude, what is this game? Oh, so that's how you do it. Okay.
Awesome.
So what was that, like, that thing I was doing before? Was that just like a trap to like make players not do this? And, oh. You can't do that freaking jumpy in Assassin's Creed. being able to do the jumpy in Assassin's Creed. I mean, Assassin's Creed, at least definitely the early games, also have bad combat systems. I mean, I don't know if they're like terrible, but they're not good. Like, they're also stupidly
Now we're back in the
simplistic.
subway.
Let's get back to the lair. There's much to tell Splinter. Good call, Don.
Is this the express?
Oh!
I don't know. but
Yeah,
it's
this is a
pretty
level with a train. I definitely played this level as a kid. So, in the last video, I said that like the previous level might have been the level like which my game got stuck on and wasn't able to continue, but no. Well, the level which I got stuck on has gotta be like up ahead because I definitely played this level as a kid. Like, there's no way I did.
No, we can't let them follow us back to the lair.
Mikey's right. We have to finish him off.
We get the coins. There.
Dude, my gunshot's yours.
Alright, so this move is really good on the train. Hell, honestly, any move is good on the train. Because like, they're all so close by that it's going to hit everyone. Very nice. Oh my god, that killed them. I guess like the only move that still isn't good is Raphael's, because it's just like it's too like one enemy focused. All the other ones are like area of effect, but Raphael's is like too single, which is going to be good for the boss fights. And oh, well, that only hit one person. Okay. Oh, we got 2 stars already. And boom, mission complete. That only took a meager 26 minutes. I got over 32 coins. Very nice.
Ninjutsu is a skill based on balance, speed, and agility. I suggest you work on your speed.
I should work on my speed.
Dudes, that was one of the coolest places I've ever been to.
It almost makes you sorry they're the bad guys.
See? That's why I left. You guys were all cooled out. We stuck our necks out and got nowhere.
So you stormed off in a huff.
Why not? You guys were just dragging me down.
And when you left in anger, your departure cast a shadow on everyone else.
So Master Splinter told me to track you down.
A leader is not determined by appointment or assignment, but by his own actions.
So in order to act like a leader, I had to bring everybody back together again.
To help you with this, I assigned you a riddle.
Some help. What's red with rage but green with envy? It made me even more frustrated and confused than I was before.
Oh, is this gonna be the level where Leonardo fights Raphael? Okay, finally.
Rage but green.
I wonder how that boss fight's gonna work. Oh, I hate Leonardo's ability. It stinks. He just phases through a wall. That's like the stupidest ability out of them all. I hate it.
Purple dragons.
It's so bad.
Yeah.
What a bad ability. You couldn't think of anything better for Leonardo to do, like an ability that can like be used in the world. And oh, I did not watch out for the piss man. I even warned myself in the first video to watch out for this guy, and I did not. What a tragedy. What a shame.
Yeah.
Ooh, that was a close one. Oh. Oh, that him? Just him? Just them.
Never attack a turtle in the streets.
2 coins so close to each other. That's a little bit of a weird placement. Oh, we have a moving vehicle. I just hope that getting in front of that vehicle doesn't immediately one-shot me.
I had to go through some of the back alleys, and let me tell you, people really need to tidy up a bit.
We got electricity here. Not the type that I like. I much prefer when the electricity is in the water. And when there are platforms that I can jump on top to avoid the electric water. I much prefer that. Ooh, there's some Silent Hill vibes. We got all these creepy pipes, like the swinging camera. Ooh, like even the camera's going up, like upstairs. We think the camera's going upstairs, getting all creepy. Ooh, getting all psychological. Ooh, this is a nice little setup. Okay. Oh, this is pretty cool. Oh, we have red, symbolizing hell! Ooh, look at that.
I've always liked this place.
Oh, that's nice.
It's worth checking out.
Ooh. So we got a lot of color symbolism going on here. Oh, this is a nice... Now we've moved on from Silent Hill to Hitman. This looks like one of Codename 47's levels now. And, well, just vice versa, one of Hitman Contract's levels. Oh, the piss man. Okay, we gotta take him down. Ninja. Yeah, there's a house, and then you can jump on top of the house. How cool is that? Oh, gotta be careful. There we go, natural wall running, and oh. This is very cool. Yeah. It's like these later levels are really pushing it in terms of like cool dynamic camera movements, like kind of just smooth gameplay. Like maybe it's just that I gotten better at the game or something, but like I'm enjoying this more. Like this stuff is cooler than some of the stuff that came before, especially some of the more samey levels.
Yeah.
This is a very hoppy game. Wahoo! Ooh, that's a long jump. Look at that, such a... Oh!
Oh no. Yeah.
Okay, I'm really digging this one. And now it's a Splinter Cell Chaos Theory. Okay. Now it's reminding me of the first Splinter Cell.
Yeah.
And hey, Splinter Cell's made by Ubisoft. Boom, another connection. I mean, I think I was like referencing Chaos Theory a lot in my first stream, so now I'm referencing the first Splinter Cell. Ooh, okay. Oh, okay, there you go. Nice wall run. Another nice wall run. Very good. Up. There were pipes there. I guess you could have done something with those pipes, but I did not.
Yeah.
So, ooh, multiple routes. Ooh, we're getting complicated with just moving in one direction. But hey, there's some... Mr. Piss. Let's just kill that guy before killing Mr. Piss.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, Mr. Blockuza here.
Nice.
Oh, he came prepared with the piss. Okay. Like, I mean, the other guy, you know, he had to charge it up, but no, he's just throwing them out there. He came like fully loaded. Oh wow. Oh. What? I literally let the attack go, and he just attacked me at that exact moment. Come on. Come on. What a bad game. Get the coin. Oh, I missed the coin. I'm gonna get the coin. I like the look of these coins. I like that quite a bit. They're cool coins. And oh, we're really yellow here now. Hey, if there's a lot of taxis, couldn't they see me?
Must be another way
I don't know, I'm not being very ninja-y at the moment. It's gonna be another fight. There's Mr. Piss. Oh, and they didn't even let me start the fight. There you go, you're not getting
I guess that makes you the
any...
bait.
Oh, I gave him an advantage. Whatever. Over.
Yeah.
I'm gonna piss. So I've recently been watching Twin Peaks, and there's a really interesting similarity between TMNT and Twin Peaks, and that similarity, they both start with the letter T. I think that was worth noting. They share no other similarities.
Yeah.
This is such a cool little area, like, I'm feeling very positive about this level. This level is very cool.
The door's
This
open.
is like nearly
Why
as
would
cool
someone-
as the... No, the
Wait a
hotels
minute.
look super cool. I don't know if it's as cool as the hotel. It kind of is, I don't know. This is definitely,
you
so
think.
far, one of the best levels, just like the hotel. And ooh, look at them one hits there. Very nice.
Whoa!
Ooh, I definitely appreciate just how I kill them. Boom. Boom. Nice little impact frame. I don't know the terminology for this whenever you do boom. Whatever that is, that's very cool. Boom. Boom. Very nice.
When in doubt, take the highway out.
Oh, we're jumping on lily pads. Majora's Mask now. So
Wow.
I bought a
This is where Splinter and I should
a Nintendo 64, a Japanese Nintendo 64 to be specific, and I also have a cartridge of Majora's Mask for America. And I was under the false impression that a Japanese N64 would have 0 region locking, but to my surprise, it is region locked. Now the way the Nintendo 64s do region locking is that they have like they make their cartridges different. So like they would have holes in different places, and like the different consoles, like the NTCS consoles and like the Japanese consoles, they have their holes in different places. So pretty much if you tried to like put an American card in a Japanese console, it just would not go in because like their holes would like block each other. However, you can get past that with a Game Shark, because the Game Shark does not care about the holes. It can just get into the Nintendo 64. And then you can just place whatever game on top of the Game Shark, and then boom, you can play the game on any console. So that's one way to get past the region locking, but that's not the only way. It's like a multifaceted approach. Like you can really, there's multiple ways to break the region locking on a Nintendo 64, but pretty much like a pretty easy way is just to buy a Game Shark, and then you also have access to the capabilities of the Game Shark.
He sent me to look for something.
However,
Say what?
something which I did not realize is that in order to output N64 footage to like
But would prefer to live
my
out.
RetroTink 5X is I need S video cables, and I don't have those, so I have to order those on freaking Amazon.
You mean
And
we
I
have
also
to
need to
go
buy
the
the
zoo?
expansion pack in order to play Majora's
Necessarily.
Mask.
Look for something that's got to do with a zoo.
And the worst thing about the expansion pack is that I looked it up, and like on eBay, they're selling them for like $50. Like what? Why do those expansion packs cost like $50? Like that's like a highway robbery. I mean, why are they so expensive? It's just like more memory. I mean, to be fair, I mean, in the modern age, or at the very least, the PS Vita age, like Sony scalped the shit out of those SD cards. And oh, this is supposed to be a family-friendly stream. No, it's a family-friendly game. I can't use naughty words. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. I didn't mean that. But yeah, they like
This
scalped
requires
like
balance.
the PS Vita like memory cards cost an insane amount, and Sony were insane for trying to sell them
This
for what they
requires
did.
balance.
And
no one
yeah,
more balanced
but yeah,
than
the
me.
expansion pack also costs like a ton,
Where'd you go
like
last
50
night?
bucks, and it's just like I don't want to
nowhere.
pay 50 bucks just so I can have
I was
access
with my pal
to like
Casey.
Donkey Kong 64 and Majora's Mask. I mean, I do want to have access to Donkey Kong 64 and Majora's Mask, but it's just like there's very few games that like the expansion pack like takes
it all
lets
makes
you play. I
sense.
mean, you don't
Just
really need
look
it for
for a
everything.
sign, a
And what are
billboard,
those?
something.
Those are cool.
Come on,
Look at
Ralph.
that. Look
The
at
dragon's the
that.
only way through.
I don't know the
Did you
circumstances of what's
say
going on here because I
on
turned
the
off the
dragon?
volume on my TV. But it's like, yeah, it's complete bananas. I agree. How much like the expansion pack costs to play
Come
the
on,
banana
Ralph.
game.
The dragon's
Look at that!
the
Look at the
only way
dragon! Ah, look at the dragon!
Did you
Oh, that's
say
cool.
on the
This is
dragon?
a very cool level. I like the red tones in it. It's like very hellish and like they're going to die. Or at the very least, there's going to be some conflict if this does end up being the Leonardo versus Raphael moment. Like, I do not know the story of
over
this
there.
game.
It's
I'm
the
just
billboard
inferring
for a
from like
zoo.
the movie
Now
story.
we're getting somewhere. We have to reach that building.
We have a ladder? Can we climb it?
All right.
There's a ladder there. You can climb the ladder, like. I like this
You seen
elephant.
the
That's a
size
cool
of that
elephant.
thing?
Yeah, that is a billboard.
No, I mean that elephant's huge.
Yeah, like I agree.
What are we
The
looking
elephant.
for?
Hey, what's this?
This game is based on a fictitious story, the TMNT movie, which
quote.
released in 2007, which I got to see in theaters,
I don't get it.
and
Think
that was
about it.
awesome.
Remember the
I
last
was
time
so
we fought
hyped for that
Shredder?
movie when I was a kid. So I was bawling, and oh my goodness! Oh, we're fighting Shredder!
Turtles learn
Oh!
place.
Get him, Leo.
Now
Go
Shredder
for
only
it,
shows
Ralph.
up in that movie at the
all
very
yours,
beginning
Don.
as like a flashback
Take it away,
sequence, and then
Mikey.
he never matters again.
I am going to
But the Foot Clan Ninja does matter. Actually, I don't even remember what Shredder's impact was, but I do remember that like freaking. Oh, do I have to fight you, Shredder? Can I beat you? I can fight Shredder. Okay, I do not need to fight those dumb, stinky
All right.
clones of you. I just need to beat up the Shredder. Come on, Shredder. Hey, don't play like that.
One heavy turtle coming right up.
And there we go, Shredder's dead. Cool. Like, yeah, I mean, this game does
work
play kind of
together to find
liberally
his
with the
cloak.
movie. Like, the whole setup is also different.
And
It's like
how
they're
did we defeat
recollecting
Shredder?
on, like, past events. It's not like the events are happening to them in
Working
real
together,
time.
The four of us.
So, like,
Yes,
yeah.
precisely.
And, like, they're
We have to
definitely playing
trust
around
one
with some of
another,
these
Raph.
areas
It's the
because
only way to go.
not all these areas are like in the movie, I'm assuming. Because, I mean, you gotta stretch out a 2-hour movie into, like, a 6 to 8 hour game. Oh, I missed a single turtle coin. Oh. Okay, 12-minute level, not too bad. Other one could go a little bit too long, 26. Ugh.
I thought we managed to arrive at some kind of understanding.
We did.
Yeah, right. So explain what happened the next night.
Splitting up was Don's idea.
There were probably more monsters.
I'm
running
gonna turn
around
up the
loose in
volume of my
city.
TV
We had
and
to
like
find out how many there were,
my mic
so
is gonna
it was
pick up the
only
volume of the
logical that we could
TV,
scout
so it's
some
like the
more
game is being
territory.
recorded on the
Split up.
That
Elgato,
was a team decision.
but like the mic,
I don't
the
understand.
audio from the
He's
game is
watching
gonna
me wear the
overlay
Night
with like
Watcher costume
the
in
one
the
it's picking up on
I was
the
alone.
mic I have
When
here.
alone, it
So it's
felt
like,
better to
oh,
be the night
oh,
watch.
this is the part where you have to fight the little Chihuahua like demon. Okay, let's do it. I don't know how that boss fight would even work, but it is going to be a boss fight.
The
Like,
Night
there's no
Watcher,
way
no
you
one
don't get to fight that thing.
Which is
And
better
yeah,
than
like I
ready.
mean, platforming in this
Suit's
big
great.
suit.
Itches
Just
in
do it.
places.
Like, Raphael definitely did not go through any sewers to fight the Chihuahua thing. He just entered a restaurant and that was it. So they're just padding the game out here.
It's Johnny.
And, oh, what happened there? Like, all these sewers are padding. This game definitely has a bit too much sewers. I mean, they're Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I mean, sewers is pretty important to their identity, but like, this is a bit of overkill. Like, if you're gonna have a lot of water, at least give me electric water. Oh, that was like a 5 or 6 hitter. Oh my goodness, that was epic. What do I do now? Oh, those didn't even look like walls. This looks exactly like another level. This is what I'm saying. This game, like, so much of it just blends together. They're just like copying over assets from other levels. Okay, like, see, that's the thing. This little sewer thing looks exactly like most of the other levels, but then you get outside here and it's completely different. And like, okay, this is cool, but I'm just saying, when there's so much like sameness in this game, like, it just freaking, it gets boring. It gets really boring. Really fast. This looked exactly the same like some of the other areas in this game, and it's like, man, that's just like the city and all, but like,
Nice. It's time to shut you down.
Okay, this combo of Raphael's is pretty cool when he throws his sights. Like that gets some good range in there. I like that, and it's also quick. Oh brother, this guy stinks. That was a very underwhelming impression of that. Hey! Come on, do a charge attack here. What is that sound effect? I mean, he has a pipe, but it just sounds so silly. Doink. Give me the doink sound effect. I don't know who Raphael was voiced by in the movie. But yeah, like, these screams sound very Nolan-y. To be fair, I mean, it's been a while since I listened to a Nolan North performance, but maybe like by proxy I might have listened to one, but like these screams, they're reminding me of Nathan Drake's screams. And oh, we got a heat filter. Okay, cool, cool. Okay, so here's the thing. If this game ever gets ported to like an HD console, the first thing you're gonna mess up is the heat filter. Or at the very least, that was true of like Silent Hill. Like the Silent Hill 3, there was like hot rooms in that game, and on the HD collection, they just screwed it up. It looked bad. It's just such a shame, such a sadness, how like terribly preserved Silent Hill 2 and 3 are. And oh, I am going to die. Oh, I am going to die. Oh my goodness. Okay. Don't you dare. There's still someone else. Hey! Watch yourself! Oh, you can come back!
Ain't got time for this.
Oh! Well, that's easy. I can just come back.
Seldom lose my battle.
I don't know, there's been other times where I died and I didn't come back, so that's a little weird. But whatever, I'm back.
Ain't no time to fall in that lava.
That's true. Okay, so you can either do a wall run or... Oh, come on! Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, no! I have to do the whole combat section again. Are you kidding
You want a piece of me?
Oh, what a boring game. That's what I'm saying. I mean, the Kingdom Hearts HD collection is so cool, but then like the Konami one, it's like they lose the source code. They just lose all what's the word? Competency. No, it's like they lose the source code and suddenly they can't do shit. Is it finally friendly again? I can't keep saying bad words. I'm gonna get flagged by YouTube. Like, yeah, I mean, the Kingdom Hearts, they lose their source code. They just make textures that look exactly the same. And then, like, Silent Hill, they lose their source code and they screw everything up. And then they have, like, teeth for eyes at a certain point. It's just like, how do we get to this point? Like, come on. Get real. Okay, so if I screw this up, I'm gonna have to repeat that combat section all over again. What a shame. I really want to do the wall running, but for some reason this game is really guilting me. Come on. There we go, yeah! So this is one cool thing the game does. Sometimes there's like freedom in your approach. You can jump on the platforms or you can do the wall running, and it's like, that's gotta be nice to have that sort of freedom. You definitely see a lot of this type of building in this game. You could use a little less of it. But hey, I mean, if you're gonna be jumping around on buildings, I mean, there's not much you can do. There's a lot you can do, but like, there's not much you can do, even though there's a lot you can do. Like, yeah, the PC ports of Silent Hill 2 and 3, if you install mods, are solid. I have the PC ports of Silent Hill 2 and 3, and, like, I mean, buying them physically must cost a lot, especially, like, they used to cost quite a bit back in the day when I got them, and back in the day is like 3 or 4 years ago, maybe 5 or 6 years ago. Like, I mean, Silent Hill 2 cost quite a bit, but I was able to get a cheap copy for $50, $60. A PC port, like the PC edition of Silent Hill 2. Came with a case and all that. Now, for Silent Hill 3, I was able to pick up for pretty cheap, like the PC port. I picked it up for 20 bucks. So I have no idea how things are now. They're probably worse, because the PS2 games, they used to cost like 30 or 40 bucks, and now Silent Hill 2 costs like 120, Silent Hill 4 costs 145, and it's just like, I hate you. This looks exactly the same like one of the other levels, and like, that's what I'm saying. Like, they need to stop doing this. It gets boring. There's like 17 levels. You can kind of shrink those levels a bit. Just have a tighter, more satisfying experience, because this is getting a little boring now. Come on now. Get real. Oh, I did not change the thumbnail of this stream. I made a new thumbnail for this stream. I'm not sure if I changed it. It's supposed to say like part 2, but it probably says part 1 at the moment. I think after this combat encounter, I might just go into the settings and change it. What was that? Oh, the lock on in this game feels more. Yeah, I'm gonna go change the thumbnail. There we go. New thumbnail. I also made the same mistake with Silent Hill 2. I got the vanilla version of the game, so I was like locked out of like extra content. Now in my PC copy, that does have the extra content, though I haven't played the Birth from a Wish thing yet. I should probably get around to that. But yeah, like my PS2 copies, I gave them to a friend, and I'm gonna let him keep them, you know, because it's like, I already beat those games, and like that friend was also the same friend who gave me a PS2, so he was pretty much the reason I was able to play those games. So I think they're best with him, but I do kind of like want the PS2 copies, because now I can like upscale PS2 games, and I don't have PS2 copies of Silent Hill 2 and 3 and 4 anymore. So that's like a bit of a fumble, but you know what? I'm gonna leave them with my homie. Maybe like I might like borrow them back and also give them back at some point if plans do get that complicated, or maybe they'll start selling them at a reasonable price. I think that's what's best for everyone. If they just stop scalping them. I just hate that. And it's like Silent Hill, like it just had a lot of visual problems, so like I don't think emulation is the best way to go about it. I mean, I don't know what the emulation status is of Silent Hill 2, but like if Yakuza has problems being like upscaled, I think Silent Hill has problems being upscaled. And what is this? Oh, what is this? This is scary. Very fiery. Reminds me of Splinter Cell. I forgot which one exactly, but it might be Pandora Tomorrow. Ah! Yeah, it was definitely Pandora Tomorrow. Because like the beginning level and hey, come on! I was pressing the A button. What is that? Yeah, like I mean, it was definitely Pandora Tomorrow because like the beginning level of that game has a part where you're like going through a place that's on fire. In fact, you're sneaking through a place that's on fire, and it was very cool. I complained about how Pandora Tomorrow, there's no way to access it like legally on PC. It's a nightmare. Like, it's one of the best Splinter Cell games. It should be accessible. And oh, the camera was about to go haywire there. That was something. Okay, so you can either like use those pipes to get past that place, or use the wall run, and I think that's very cool. Like whatever you do, do not make me fight people. Okay. Definitely like the rats in this game. I like that they took the time to model some rats. That's pretty cool. That reminds me, I really want to play the Ratatouille game. I played it on the Nintendo Wii. I know there's a PS2 port. There's also probably a GameCube port of that game. Like they all probably play the same. But like I really liked the Ratatouille game. I played it as a kid. I really liked it as a kid. And there was these like things in the Ratatouille game, like these hidden levels that looked exactly like Super Mario Galaxy, like cookie levels. And I could never beat those levels. They were always very tricky to platform in, but like they were very cool as a kid. So yes, Ratatouille later, sometime, whenever I buy it. Ooh, look at that. Very nice 5-hit combo there.
Here's Johnny.
Like that is definitely Nathan Drake. I hear that Nathan Drake in him. I could barely see those enemies. Like the blacks were like so crushed that like they all just kind of blobbed together.
Guess I'll have to do this on my own.
Oh yeah, the first Splinter Cell did have a level in a burning oil rig. That was one of the worst levels in the game too. Like that level was just some straight booty. So like the Pandora Tomorrow level is much better. Like yeah, it's just like Splinter Cell just has those moments with forced action in them, and like that oil rig level just awful. And it sucks because like the oil rig level looks really cool, but like it's just a really bad level. It's like, ugh. Hey! Come on. Yeah, like the oil rig level is like what, the 5th level in that game? The 4th? I don't know. But there are much better levels than that level. I definitely know that. Splinter Cell is definitely worth playing, I think. But on PC you have to mod it to like fix the shadows. Like you don't notice that the shadows are broken on PC until you get to a certain point. You have to like get past spotlights in one level, and it's like super important that you like don't get caught by those spotlights, because like if you do get caught by those spotlights, you just die. And then like if the shadows are broken, then the spotlights are also broken. So it's like you have to like once you get to that point, you're like, oh, I have to mod this game to actually fix it, huh? And, hey, I was on the platform. What is that? I mean, I guess the best way to play those like Splinter Cell games is on Xbox, but the only disadvantage of like playing them on Xbox is like no quick saves. So you have to kind of deal with the game's insane like checkpoint system. They are very punishing, that checkpoint system. And, I don't like the Steam. The Steam, it's like it's not readable. I don't like the Steam. Ugh.
All right.
Oh. Okay. Because, I mean, the Xbox is probably the best way to play Pandora Tomorrow, though, once again, you won't have quick saves, but you will have Pandora Tomorrow, and Pandora Tomorrow is a pretty swell game.
All right.
I'm gonna have to get a radar installed in this helmet. I can't see a thing with this fog.
Oh, there we go. There's that location, which has La Cucaracha. The Chihuahua Cucaracha, what's your name? But it's gotta be there. And, we're gonna fight a bunch of I wanna fight the Cucaracha Chihuahua thing. Demon. Let me fight it. No, there's another name for it. It's like the Chippy Choopy, I don't know. There was like another demon like folklore thing which has a certain name to it, and it kinda looks like this demon thing, but I forgot the name of it. Chupacabra? It was probably the Chupacabra. Or it could be the Ellie Walk. Ooh, the Ellie Walk, that's a scary one. Ellie Walkie. We have that ninja on the taxi car, and because he's on the taxi car, I can't get him with my charge attack, and it's just like an annoying ninja. Why would you do that? Stupid ninja. Not even a fruit ninja.
What are you up to
Bad
next time?
ninja.
Doesn't matter. You're done.
Not even Fortnite ninja.
I guess she got out. Lucky for you guys.
Oh, I think Raphael just said the Chupacabra or the Shinada or something. The Shinada Chupacabra. Oh my goodness.
This diner's got the biggest roaches I ever saw.
Hey, there's no Chupacabra here. There's just more boring enemies. Oh, they're just teleporting. There's so many of them.
It's Johnny.
Oh yeah, I recently bought Devil May Cry on the PS2.
Just not
That is
bad.
definitely a game I want to no damage at one point. But it is going to be very difficult. But I wanted to play Devil May Cry 1 on the PS2 because, from my knowledge, the HD collection doesn't add anything all that important to it. Unlike Devil May Cry 3, I mean, you have to get the special edition, and I did not see the special edition in stores, and it's just like, With Devil May Cry 3, I'm better off playing it on like with all the HD collections. But Devil May Cry 1, there's not. I mean, to what I know, I don't think there's any like big improvements from those HD collections aside from visuals, which the visuals are also kind of screwed up. They mess up some of the visual effects in Devil May Cry 1. So hey, I'm gonna play the OG version. So there's nothing to mess up because it's the OG version, and it's gonna play at 60 FPS because that game did play at 60 FPS when it first came out. So
I went to look for him there.
the only issue is my Elgato, the one I have on me, can only record 60 FPS if it's at 720p. So in order to get 60 FPS footage, I would have to like upscale the game only to 720p, or I'd have to shell out some money and buy a new game capture to like record 1080p 60 FPS footage. So then I can upscale it to 1080p. Like I'm upscaling this game at 1080p, and I don't know if this game runs at 30 FPS or 60 FPS, but it's definitely being recorded at 30 FPS. So that's all I'll say. Like this feels kind of like 30 FPS. This does feel like 30 FPS. I will say that.
I remember it felt
Like I remember it being kind of uncomfortable, but I am a little more used to it now, the 30 FPS-ness, if it is 30 FPS. Okay, this has to be the level where I fight Raphael. Like, there's just no way it's not. Come on. Oh! Okay! So we're here now, okay. What do we do when we're here? I guess we do that. Hey, that wasn't fair. Come on. I am sick and tired of seeing that billboard. The billboard should not be here anymore. It should be gone. Forever. This game's too serious now. No time for that goofy billboard.
Where are
you? Ooh, risky platform.
Yeah.
What is going on here? Whoa, whoa, I just got pushed over by something. Was that the wind or something? Oh, it is. Ah! Scary ass wind.
Yeah.
Hey. That was misleading. I could probably do a big jump. Nope. I'm not even standing on top of this. Don't lie to me. What is this? Ah, Ubisoft cutting corners as usual. Look at this. What are we doing here? Okay, let's not focus in on that. Let's focus in on the platforms which we actually stand on instead of the ones which you don't even stand on this. What is this? What is this? Come on.
Yeah.
What do we do here? Oh, okay. Ooh, the camera's getting all Silent Hill-y. Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh, a little jump scare there, just like Silent Hill. Okay, I really like the range on Leonardo here. I was kind of getting sick of how short range Raphael is, so this... Hey! Come on. That wasn't fair.
Yeah.
input delays on Yakuza 5? I'm not sure. I don't think it had any, but I have not. I haven't started anything with Roblox 5, so once I start Roblox 5, I'll have more of a feel for that. But I definitely don't remember any input delays on like Yakuza 5 or Yakuza 5 Remastered.
No pain, no gain. Whoa!
His dumb ability. Okay.
Help! Help!
Who's screaming?
That
Hey, I grabbed the pipe. What is this? Look at that. I grabbed the pipe. I grabbed the pipe there. Come on.
Oh,
Dude,
no.
I jump up to get the pipe and he doesn't get the pipe. What is this? What is this game? What a bad game.
Yeah!
What exactly? Oh, I was supposed to jump on there. Not exactly do what I did there, but doing what I did there, it worked out fine enough, I guess. And oh, here we go. We got this.
Night Watcher. I should have known he'd be involved.
I didn't know the Foot were responsible for all the screaming.
Wait, are we not gonna fight
Give
the
it up, Night
Chupacabra?
Watcher. Your crime spree is over.
Crime spree. You take on gangs, you save people's lives, and your own brother calls you a criminal scumbag. That was it. Well, well, if it ain't Leo the Servant Boy. You got something to say to me, Splinter's pet?
Raph?
What's a man? You upset because there's something you didn't know? How smart are you now, big shot?
Raph, wait!
Oh, God. Wait, so we don't get to fight the Chupacabra? That is so lame. I mean, like, I don't even know what type of fight you'd even design for the Chupacabra, but it's like, yo, the Chupacabra's in the movie. What do you mean you don't get to fight him? That's so stupid. Oh, that's cool. He's using his own ability to escape from you, and then you can freaking do platforming to catch up with him. I thought I could grab onto that. Oh, wait, yes, I can. It was just being finicky. Okay. So Raphael's doing his dumb, slow knife jump move. You can just freaking climb up the building like a normal turtle.
Yeah!
Where is he?
There. Got it.
I wasn't mad. I was just confused. I wanted to know why he was doing it.
Yeah!
This chase scenario's cool. I mean, like, there's no real tension, it seems. Like, I don't know. I don't think you can fail this, but it is cool that there is a chase scenario. Reminds me of Shadow Mario and Mario Galaxy, but in Mario Galaxy there was like an actual threat, so it's more fun there. But, you know, it's cool.
Well, it's not gonna work.
That conceptually, it's cool.
Whoa!
I mean, to my knowledge, I don't think there's any threat. Because like, I'm not being very fast here, and I'm keeping pace with this guy. So, like... Where did you go? Oh, is he just climbing up? Okay, so I have to climb up. Okay. Oh, no, I have to do his dumb ability. I hate this ability.
I thought I would catch him faster if I took a shortcut through the building. It didn't quite work. There were everywhere. I should have been warned by that. I was only worried about that.
Hey, I was in the middle of my combo. Come on.
Yeah!
Wait, so L and R both block. Okay.
He just kept following me, no matter what. So I got tired of running.
think I'd catch him after that. I had lost so much time. Okay, I haven't lost him yet. That was close.
I better keep moving.
Yeah, you better keep moving.
Leo! Leo!
Oh my goodness! They jumped me!
Leo! I'm coming for you!
They jumped me! Oh my goodness! I've never gotten jumped like that before, which is a weird thing. I don't think Leo could even get jumped. And oh, this costume's super cool. I mean, it was super cool in the movie, but it's cool that it's also here. And there is a weird effect going on here, because like most of these models, like they have white eyes, but this one has like more detailed eyes, I think. I can't really control the camera to get closer to him, but like this model does not have like the bright white like silhouette eyes, which every single other model does. It has like more eyeball eyes.
All right! All right!
Hey! Come on. Hey! 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 Watch yourself, seriously. Doing a charge attack.
All right! Booyah!
Oh,
It's Johnny!
there we go. No need for caution. Did I just do a big jump? Very well. I just had to do a big jump. Do I do another big jump? You sure do. Ooh, nice little wall jump scenario there.
Booyah!
Hey.
Man, this is all my fault. If I hadn't have gone out on my own, if I could have just tried to chill out.
It's all my fault.
Sorry,
I have to
Leo.
go out on my
I'll get you
own.
back. I promise.
Thank you, Nolan North. Very cool. See, that's the thing with voice acting, is that I look up videos on, like, you know, things you should improve in your voice acting, and then I see, you know, for your voice demo, you gotta do different accents, and it's like, you gotta do different accents, and that's just gonna kill me. Like, what if I'm gonna show up to an audition and it's like, okay, can you do a French voice? I'm gonna, like, cry. like, oi, monsieur, bon... I don't know how to do a French accent. Like, what are they gonna do? A Russian accent? Like, I don't know. Like, I have to practice that. That's like, that's tough. It's tough, I tell you. And like, I die from that? Oh, come on.
This suit is slowing me down.
Like, if you can't do a French accent, well, let's just say they got someone who can. So like, you're off the list, buddy. And hey, what was that? That wasn't fair. Get real. That was completely on the game. That was not on me.
Not that it matters. I got a pretty good idea where this truck is going. All right.
Oh, that I couldn't even see that fight. It was very dark and blended into the environment. I don't even know if I really have the best settings for output for these games. And hey, I definitely landed that jump. Don't lie to me. The parking lot. Oh, the stone woman. Oh, we have to kill her.
Expendable.
What the what? That's crazy. Teleportation? What's the opening? Is that the opening? Hey, stop doing that. That's scary. Stop teleporting. It's like an actual boss fight, which like does things instead of just like teleporting to a place to get. What is the meta? What is the meta? I guess that's the meta. So you attack her when she's that. It's a very brief time to attack her, but it is a time. And then you have a bit of free time to dodge. Okay, never mind. This boss fight's pretty normal, but it caught me off guard. The Kiwami juice. She has it.
Beat her on my own.
What?
No, Mikey, Don, Splinter, Leo.
Wait, is this scripted? You can't beat up the stone woman.
Hang on.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, we got backup. We got backup. All right, let's do it.
Guys, I'm sorry. I've been a real jerk.
Later, dude. We got some serious snakes.
Okay, so like the Kiwami stench is a scripted moment. Oh, this game's Kino. Okay, let's do it. All right, let's kick her ass. Yeah, Mikey's got the better combos to it. Yeah. Let's do some Donatello too.
Take a deep breath.
What is she doing? Tell her to stop. Ah! She's got charge attacks too!
Don't count on it.
Ah!
Mikey, that's it.
Oh, that's the thing. She has charge attacks too. It's not just us no more. Okay, so now she's switching up her attacks. I don't know when it's safe to hit her. Okay, never mind. It's the same. Oh, stun attack? Stunned? Okay. Boom, 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 boom. Freeze frame, freeze frame, frame. Slow down frames, slow down frames, slow down frames.
While it lasts, fools.
Oh, Raphael still has like the highest attack, so I'm assuming he's still the best one to use.
No problem.
Oh, we
Raph.
can use his super
That's what
attack now.
families are
Okay.
for. Dude, what's with the outfit?
Well, I guess we're not beating her.
Oh, movie cutscene, very nice. Splinter's got a weird design in this one. He's very funky looking. He's got a big nose, this one.
Well then, I believe your brothers may be in need of a leader.
Well, then I did about the hardest thing I've ever had to do in my life. I admitted to you guys that I was the Night Watcher.
Admitting you were wrong is a symbol of courage.
Wait,
my
so
son.
Leonardo and Raphael
If
never
it
have a
hadn't been
boss
for the
fight?
Night Watcher, Leo
Aw,
wouldn't
that's
have been
lame.
I should have listened. I should have been a better student.
You were often a difficult student, Raphael, but I never cared for you any less.
We're family, Raph, and family is about forgiveness and understanding.
Right on. You always forgive me when I screw up. You ask me about it, but you forgive me.
Thank you, guys.
Besides, this was great news for me.
What?
You know what I mean. It was the first opportunity to test the new invention I was working on.
Oh yeah. Boy, that was lucky. Not.
It was a micro-transmitter. Raph was wearing one, and that's how Mikey and I found him. And you were wearing one too.
About to
Leo.
watch a video
So
of
all
my
we had to do
dog.
was follow your transmitter signal to your location, and that's how we found the Foot Plan's underground base.
That was a good video, my dog. This might be the level. This might be the level that like my Wii kind of like got locked on. It has a very similar look to what I remember as a child. Like, freaking, I did this level and my disc was so scratched that it was not able to continue and I was not able to beat this level. It was very sad. It was a very sad moment for me. Oh, these night combos seem a little faster than usual.
Totally awesome.
Oh yeah, never mind. Maybe the Mikey combos are just always fast.
We can force the foot to tell us where Leo is.
Mikey, they don't talk. Besides, the microtransmitter is working perfectly.
Mikey's got like the fastest combos. Love these Mikey combos. Oh yeah, let's do the big Mikey move.
That's a wrap, folks. Well, dudes, I guess we totally gave him the shaft, didn't we?
Ouch.
Wait, am I supposed to jump or something? What am I supposed to do here? Oh, never mind. It's up to me.
Booyah!
Ooh, that's scary. There's like multiple ways to handle this part. You could, I guess, wall run. You can do this. Multiple approaches. I like that. Like, the RetroThink 5X has the ability to add scan lines, but I don't know what scan lines I'd even add to this. Like, it's just a weird setting. Because, like, they can do some pretty cool stuff for the Sega Genesis and all that, but once you start getting to the more 3D stuff, like, I'm sure there's options, but I don't know what options to choose. Because I really want to have the perfect options for, like, the Resident Evil 1 remake, because, like, that game looks a lot better with scan lines. I mean, when you're playing on a TV with scan lines, but it's like, what emulated scan lines can you use for like Resident Evil Remake 1 and make it look good from the RetroThink 5X, if that option even exists? I don't know. I don't know. But it'd be nice, because like the last time I tried to use scan lines with the RetroThink 5X, it was for Resident Evil 4, and it made my video look like ass. Like, my Resident Evil 4 Mercenaries video just kind of looks abysmal because of the scan lines I added, because it's like, the scan lines already look a little funky on the TV, but then like you export them on Premiere, you upload them to YouTube, like the quality gets like crushed, big crushed, and then it just ends up looking completely awful, and it was very sad.
Leo! Awesome!
Oh, I got Raphael. Let's just use Raphael. Hey! What is that? That wasn't fair.
Here's Johnny. All right.
Oh, someone's throwing ninja stars. I don't know who. Is it that guy? Oh, that's just a
I
statue?
think I can help here.
Oh, what is he? Who is that guy? Hey, don't play with me like that. Yeah, it's a dedicated ninja star guy. I see how it is.
Here's Johnny.
There's more of them? Oh.
All right.
There's more of them? Okay, Donatello, your time to shine.
Power is pure power.
That's pretty cool.
Owe it to yourself to practice more often.
Like, it's cool, but like, I'd rather them dead than stunned. Ooh, okay, Donnie's range is really good for like surrounding enemies, because like, he has all these sweeping attacks that can get people behind you. That's cool.
Yeah. Yippee! Incredible!
we have to kill the guy all the way over here. Mr. Spawner. Mr. Dirty Spawner.
Incredible.
Ooh, Donatello's attack is good for like figuring out all the enemies in a room. Like this guy who was hidden in a little corner where the camera did not see. And oh, my hands are sweaty. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. To be or not to be? Not.
Don, what's the tracker say?
Yeah, these are quite the
Go up, I
combos.
guess.
Like, I don't mean, like, they're very simplistic, but they're animated pretty coolly. But it's like, it's just the one combo. You can't really vary it up at all. Man, that lava really damages you. Hey, poles? I grabbed that pole. Don't lie to me. Jedi Fallen Order or Forced Unleashed? Jedi Fallen Order, from the footage I've seen, that game looks super cool. The Forced Unleashed, I never played it, but it always looked cool. I don't really have a childhood with the Forced Unleashed, but that game did look cool. At the very least, I definitely want to play like the Xbox 360 version. I'd rather avoid the gimped Wii version. Like, I don't know, there's like gimped Wii versions which I have appreciation for and nostalgia, and then there's gimped Wii versions which I just don't have any interest in. Like Sonic Unleashed for the Wii, that is something I have nostalgia for. I would be down to play some Sonic Unleashed for the Wii. Even though the Xbox 360 and PS3 versions are like the versions of the game that like looking good and like, you know, run good, but it's like, hey, Sonic Unleashed is pretty dope on the Wii. Because like Sonic Unleashed on the Wii is the only version of that game which actually beat. I never did beat Sonic Unleashed on the Xbox 360. And the thing with Sonic Unleashed is that the best version of it is on the newest Xbox, where it runs at like 4K 60 FPS. Like, that looks beautiful, but I have to buy the console. And like, it was hard enough getting a PS5, and now I have to drop $500 on the Xbox 2 for like Sonic Unleashed. It's like, you know, someday, because you know the Xbox has some like backwards compatibility options which the PS5 does not have. So it's like, you know, that's the advantage with the Xbox, but it's like, that's a lot of money and also a lot of effort just to like get it, because it's like that thing gets scalped to like hell and back. So I'm assuming it's still in shortage. At the very least, not. It seems like the Xbox isn't as in shortage as like the freaking PS5. So it might be easier to get than the PS5, but it's still like I don't think it's gonna be easy, and it's definitely gonna cost me. So it's like that's a long way away. But yeah, Jedi Fallen Order, I'd also want to no damage the Dark Souls games, but those have like they're just gonna be hard. There's no other way to put it. No damaging boss fights in Dark Souls is just gonna be hard. Or like, I mean, I have like a bias towards Bloodborne. I'd want to start with Bloodborne maybe, just because like it's the one I own. I mean, I own Dark Souls 1, 2, and 3 on PC, but I never beat Dark Souls 1. I only beat Dark Souls 2 and Bloodborne is like the cooler one out of Dark Souls 2 and like Bloodborne if we're comparing them. So I would like to do Bloodborne, but it's just like the complication with those games is like, you know, the boss fights, you have to like walk through an entire area to get to them, and those areas can be tricky. So it's like the areas can honestly be the areas can be harder than like the boss fights themselves. So it's just like, it's like playing legend mode on Yakuza but worse. And then like there's a thing where like you might beat the boss fight, but then like you'll get clipped at the very last second, and that will be like the worst part about it, because it's like, you know, you'll beat the boss fight, but then once you beat the boss fight, the game's like checkpoint system or like save system will like automatically save, and you can't redo that boss fight over again. So that's gonna be the worst part of it all. So if you screw up, you pretty much have to like replay the entire game over again, because like the game already saves once you beat the boss fight but get clipped by him. So it's just like, ugh. I mean, if I'm playing on PC, maybe there's like some mod to like bypass that, but like that could be cheating, but it's like maybe it'll be a necessary evil for the ones I have on PC. Bloodborne's never coming to PC though, so there's no need to worry about cheating for Bloodborne, because I do not know how to mod a PS4 or a PS5, because I'll play it on the PS5 even though there's no improvements to playing it on the PS5. It'll still be 30 FPS, so it's just like, like, yeah, if the PS5 was like backwards compatible with the PS3, then I'd finally have a reason to throw out my PS3. But at the moment, it seems that backwards compatibility with the PS3 is looking to be very lackluster. Lackluster. So I'm just gonna have to keep the PS3 on standby because it still has games that I have to play. Because my laptop is not good enough for emulation for the PS3, so I just have to keep that on hand. What am I supposed to do here? Like, for my gaming milestones on this channel, I just like to continue on with like more games I think are cool, because like with Yakuza I just wanted to do a no damage video on like Yakuza 2 because like no one else has done it, and then I just kind of did all the Yakuza games, and now I kind of want to move over to games which are like some of my favorites and no damage them. Definitely want to do Deus Ex at some point, even though it's like I think it's impossible because there's just certain sections of that game where you're just bound to take damage, so it'll just have to be one of those runs where like at a certain point I'll just have to have a disclaimer, this is the part where you can't avoid damage. But it's just like Deus Ex is just like a creatively built game, like, you know, it's an immersive sim, so there's just so many different ways those boss fights can go. No, not the boss fights, just every scenario in the game can go so many different ways depending on how you spec your character, what equipment you have on your character at that exact moment. So it's just like you have to plan for everything. Or you could plan for a run where you don't use any equipment, which is possible, but it's also like, I want to have every advantage in my boat. So like, some people were able to beat the game without ever using like any of the weapons or healing items or whatever. So like, a no healing run is possible, but like a no damage run, like definitely with some of those later sections of that game, it can get nasty, real nasty. But it is one I want to do because like Deus Ex 1 is like one of the greatest games of all time, and I want to give it the respect it deserves. Another issue with no damaging Deus Ex is that it does not run very well on like modern systems, and it's just weird because like I used to have a system that had like Windows 9 or Windows 10 and it ran fine on there, but now I have another laptop, and it doesn't run well at all, and it's just a mess. And you have to mod it, and like the mod doesn't run that well, so it's just like So Deus Ex is definitely one I want to do someday. Oh, we have the dirty spawner there. Gotta do that guy. I want to look at the comments to see if there are any other questions, but combat. They don't stop coming, these guys.
It's Johnny.
Like, I don't know what it is. I think there's something wrong with my display, because this game's just too dark at points. Some of the enemies just blend into the environment.
All right. Thanks, guys. You were amazing.
Leo,
We'll talk about this later, Raph.
Favorite film directors. I don't know. Every time someone asks me a question about my favorite film directors, I always just kind of get stuck. I'm like, damn, I don't know. Like, Tarantino's like a bit too obvious of a choice.
Dude,
it's like,
I
mean, pretty much all of Tarantino's films are like really great. I'll agree with that, but it's just like calling him my favorite just feels like too basic. I'm like right now, like I'm really digging David Lynch, which is also like a very basic like film bro thing to fixate on, but whatever. He makes great films, and like I'm really digging Twin Peaks at the moment. I'm in the second season. I'm like 6 episodes in. I've been told that it goes to like complete badness like very soon, and that makes me very sad because I'm really enjoying these first 6 episodes. But I hear that like it gets terrible, and it's like, oh, that's sad. And like, yeah, like, I mean, David Lynch's films, Eraserhead's good. I don't love Eraserhead. Like, I mean, it's very iconic, but it's also like, I mean, it feels so much like his first film, you know, like it feels like his first film. It doesn't feel like his second or third film. Like, it kind of has that feeling for me.
Dude, get us out of here.
Like, I don't know. You get what I'm saying. And then I saw Blue Velvet. The first time I saw Blue Velvet, I loved it. I have not rewatched it since, but I love that film. Great film. Might be my favorite of his at the moment, but honestly, like, I mean, with a couple rewatches and a couple rewatches of some of the other films, that might change. Mulholland, the Drive movie. It's a great movie. I will say, I don't know if I was like fully vibing with it at first, but like, I mean, after like watching it, like the more I think about it, the more I like it. So I'm definitely down to rewatch that one someday. Great movie, that one. Then there's Wild at Heart. Kind of loved it. First Sight. Nicolas Cage is great in that movie. Laura Dern, amazing like performances there. Just a really funny and like insane movie. It gets a little dull at points, but like honestly, like I watched it in a theater, like everyone was laughing. It was a great time. Like really like Wild at Heart. It's like one of the movies that's like, you know, less loved than some of the other ones, but like I really liked it. And I also got to see Inland Empire in theaters, and that one's insane. That's like the sort of movie which you don't watch as your first David Lynch movie. Like you need to like, if you want to like, here's how I'd say it. So the only way you should watch Inland Empire is if you've watched, you know, his previous movies like Eraserhead, Wild at Heart, Mulholland Drive, Twin Peaks. If you like what he's doing with like all those other things, then like if you like what he's doing with those other things and you don't think he's like too extreme with those other movies and you want to see him go more extreme, then you watch Inland Empire. And me, I was in that position. I really liked Inland Empire. I'm actually down for a rewatch, but that one's hard to rewatch because it's 3 hours long. It's massive, and it's also kind of an endurance test. That film, like, the first hour is kind of boring. That's my complaint with that movie. The first hour kind of feels like it's still stuck in reality, but it's also like has this like lo-fi look, so it's kind of awkward. I don't know, it's a little dull. But one advantage of the first hour, it has the guy who voices Scar as a main character, but then after the first hour he barely appears, and I wish he showed up more because that guy has a really good voice. He has some weird opinions about incest, but I guess that's another conversation for another time. And but yeah, also Inland Empire, it's all on YouTube. Like I watched it in theaters because they have like a new 4K remaster, which they're like, you know, showing off, but the entire movie is on YouTube. So if you really want to watch Inland Empire, there is a 1080p rip on YouTube. I mean, it was shot on digital with like a really bad digital camera because David Lynch just really wanted that look for like his Nightmare movie. That's the thing. Inland Empire is a Nightmare movie. I mean, like his films are kind of like a lot of his films do fall under Nightmare movie, but like Inland Empire is the most Nightmare out of all the Nightmare movies he's made. Big Nightmare movie. And it's also like insane and absurd and like hilarious, like all his other movies. It's the most Lynchian movie, but it's also like it's so Lynch that like, you know, you're not gonna like it if you consider his previous work pretentious, because you're gonna consider like this one even more pretentious. But me, I don't really care. Like, I don't know. It's just like I'm not in the mood to complain whether a director is pretentious or not. At least with Lynch, I'm not in the mood to complain about him being pretentious or not. I'm with it. I'm down with whatever he's doing. Other people, they're not so down with it, and like, you know, they'll like jump to pretentiousness. Pretentiousism. Okay, but if we're talking David Lynch, I have to talk about What Did Jack Do? Because that short is so funny. Like, What Did Jack Do is like the perfect short to put on when you're like at a party and everyone is like so like, you know, blasted that they can't stop you from putting it on the TV. Like every time I'm like in a big party and everyone is like too like immobilized, I just go to the TV and I put What Did Jack Do? And they're always like, they can't do anything about it. Like they can't stop me from putting the monkey on the TV. It's hilarious. I love that short. It's just David Lynch like talking to himself with like a monkey, and he just has like lips freaking put on top of the monkey like it's annoying orange. Honestly, to me, it is a very funny short, but it is like unironically, it does have a lot of great things about it. It's just like, it's unironically just really funny. It's just like complete absurdism, but there's also like themes to it. I don't know, people say it's about like racism in America and all that, but I'm not gonna go there. I don't know what I'm talking about with that, but it's a great short. It's 17 minutes. It's just him talking with a monkey and just having a nonsense conversation, and I adore it quite a bit.
A balcony.
But for other directors, it's like, you know, I definitely love movies, but I just have not kept up with the directors, and it's like, I should, because, you know, that's just a very common question to ask. It's like, you know, you're into film, you know, what are your favorite film directors? Like, you gotta know. I really have to see the Evil Dead films, I'll just say that much. I really love Sam Raimi's Spider-Man films, but it's just like, I'm such a noob for like not watching Evil Dead, so I gotta get on that. So we're back in the hotel room, though I will say this level so far is not as cool as the other hotel level, which only had Raphael. But no, I mean, I got to see a lot of David Lynch films in theaters, which was very fun. Like Mulholland Drive, I mean, it's also like, it's not just that I'm seeing them in theaters, they're also like projecting them on film. Well, not Inland Empire, that's a digital movie, so that's like a 4K upscaling. The other one's on film though, so that's very nice. I don't know, Chicago's got the nice place, the music box, so I pretty much just was watching them when they were doing like their whole David Lynch thing. The one film I was not able to see was Twin Peaks Fire Walk with Me, which I do regret, because like people really seem to love that one, but it's also like, you can't see that film until you've watched like the first 2 seasons of Twin Peaks. And like, I don't know, from what I've seen, I definitely don't regret not watching it, but I also like, I'm a little sad that I wasn't able to see it in theaters, at least this year. I mean, like next year they'll do the David Lynch film, like event again. But I'm gonna be watching Fire Walk with me like way before next year, because I'm definitely finishing all of the Twin Peaks stuff this year, because like it's just too interesting. I'm not gonna like delay it. I definitely hear a lot of great things about The Return, so like I want to kind of finish up season 2, even if season 2 is kind of bad. I definitely want to finish it up, because like what I hear is, yeah, like season 2 kind of stinks after a while, but it's like everything in the bad stuff is still important to know for The Return. It's like, okay. I still need to watch some other David Lynch films. I need to watch The Elephant Man, The Straight Story, and also just check out his shorter stuff, his like PS2 commercials and all that. Like, when it comes to if I'll stick this channel to gaming, I would like to get some movie reviews here and there. Like, I went to the Chicago International Film Festival last year, and I planned on like making a ranking video of the movies I saw there, but I just never got that off the ground. That video would just kind of devolve to talking crap about Memoria, which is a film people really like, and I just did not vibe with it, and I think it's just that I was just not prepared for what it had. I think like on a rewatch, like, you know, having a better idea of what that film's going for, I think I'll like it more. But on that first watch, it was just not for me. I nearly fell asleep, I'm not gonna lie, which like kind of makes me a bit of a noob when it comes to that stuff, because it's just like, you know, because like I was talking with like some other of my like, you know, very film-centered like friends, and like they when I told them my complaints, they were like, yeah, that sounds like the movie from that director, and it's just like I did not know what I was getting into. But like my favorite movie from that festival, like last year, was definitely a movie called Mad God, which I don't even know when that movie's gonna get released, Like another horror movie I saw, it was called The Sadness. That one was like fun, but it wasn't that good. I mean, like, it was very edgy and like very gory, and I liked that a lot. But like Mad God was something else. Mad God's like this film that took like 20 or 30 years. It's directed by the guy who did like the practical effects for Star Wars, Jurassic Park, like, you know, really talented guy. And he just wanted to make this like passion project, like stop motion animated movie, but also like mixed media at points. Just a completely like horrific nightmare movie. It looks amazing. It's insane. Like, I'm not down with all the parts. Like, I mean, the story's like very scattershot, but love that movie. Love that movie. Highly recommend it whenever it's available anywhere. It is a very rough movie though, very gnarly. Like there's like screaming babies. Like the audio gets annoying. There's like so many screaming babies in that movie. Not because the babies are dying. I don't think there's any dying babies. It's just a baby who's like really upset. And he freaking cries a lot in that movie. Ugh! In the theater was so loud. I was like, like freaking for like 10 minutes. It's intense. I'll say that much. But that part was a little annoying. They could have like held off on that a bit. I won't lie. Ooh, this is really cool. I like this water. Am I even in danger if I just go in this water? Not really. But whatever. This is really nice water. I like that. But art house movies. Oh. I've definitely seen art house movies, but I can't remember any off the top of my head at this exact moment.
There must be a faster way to do this.
As for the director, Jean-Luc Godard, I've definitely seen movies of his in like a class or something, but I forgot what movies he's made. My opinion on YMS, he's made a ton of great videos. I mean, the Cool Cat video is classic. The Lion King video, I mean, the Lion King video is like good, but it's a bit much maybe. The Kimba video is great. I don't know, with YMS, I really like his really massive videos. His quickies are a little whatever, which, I mean, they're quickies, you know, so it's like, what can you do? But like, I don't know. His criticisms and like style of reviewing gets very repetitive with those quickies. He's just kind of like, it's kind of a meme. I don't know, like there's just points where he's like, the cinematography was very good, the acting was very convincing. You know, it's like they're quickies, so it's like, you know, it's just a quick way to get his thoughts out, and they vary in quality. Sometimes they're like the very repetitive. Cinematography was very good. It was very well-intentioned movie. But then there's the quickies where he gets really pissed and really specific, and like those tend to be more fun and more like his bigger videos. Like his bigger videos when he's doing like a big massive video like with Cool Cat and all that, like that stuff's great. Like, I mean, those are some really great videos. So I do like those quite a bit. But the quickies could be a bit whatever. But it's like they're quickies, they're just something to have in between the bigger videos, and like the big videos he makes are very big. You know, 2, 3, 4 hours, very well researched and all that. So it's like, yeah, I don't mind it. So yeah, a pretty great YouTuber, I'd say. Definitely, his videos have definitely been very entertaining.
I think I can help you.
It's not an art house film, but Alan Tutorial was a really great little YouTube series. Like, that guy's made a ton of great stuff. Like, you know, unedited footage of a bear. This house has people in it. Alan, like, Rickman, I think his name is. Like, really great, like, creator. Made a ton of really cool meta stuff. Yeah, definitely check that guy out. Like, all them ARG-ass videos. Like, that stuff is fun. Ooh, maybe no damaging Kanye quest. 30-30, if that's even possible. No damaging getting recruited into that cult thing.
Dude, tag me in!
Yeah.
What was... Oh, the ninja. The ninja star. Oh, wait, I can do a super move. Let's do that. Ooh, that's some good range. Who said that? That was like a really childish like voice, really high pitched.
Should've seen them for a while.
My thoughts on the Criterion Collection? I don't know. I mean, depends on the movie. I bought a Criterion Blu-ray for Rosemary's Baby, and like my friend loves that movie, and it was a great movie. My dad does not like that movie very much. I don't know. He just saw like 5 or 10 minutes of it, and he was just like not happy with the acting. Like I don't know. It was just like he's just like really dismissive of it. I mean, hey, it's about like demons and devils and all that. I don't know. I guess my dad just ain't into that. But like, maybe it was a pretty good movie. I don't know if I really loved it. And there's just certain movies where like you know they're great, but you don't have like that much of a personal attachment to them. And you just for some reason you don't vibe with it completely. Like I love the first Blade Runner. The first Blade Runner is like one of my favorite movies of all time. But some people they're just like it's good, and like they like 2049 more. And 2049 is a great movie. But I like when it comes to like choosing between like the original and that one, like the original is gonna win like every time for me. And well, 2049, like it has one major flaw. It's Jared Leto. I hate him. I hate his character. Like even if it wasn't played by Jared Leto, I'd hate that character. It's such a stupid, like MCU tier like villain character. Despise him so much. It's such a stupid character. So pretentious that one. See, there we go. Pretentious tends to show up when you don't like something. Like David Lynch, I love that stuff. Jared Leto's character in 2049, despise that guy. I'm gonna call him pretentious with no qualms. Despise that character. Like, it's such a good movie, and then that character shows up, and like he just drags everything down. Like you just hate it. What is going on here? Like you know, and the thing is, like I want to like hate more on Jared Leto, but I also like. It's like, you know, it's like, oh, you hate this guy so much, but can you do what he does? And it's like, at a certain point, I don't know. I think he's probably a better actor than me. He's got more like, you know, skin in the game, let's say. But me, like, I gotta get my skin in the acting game and all that. So it's just like, I definitely gotta act more if I want to like trash talk Jared Leto. You know, like if I'm gonna trash talk Jared Leto, I want to be a better actor than Jared Leto. I'll just say that. But I don't want to like freaking method act as much as him. Like, The House of Gucci is one of my least favorite films from whenever it came out. What a terrible film. It was awful. Like, surprisingly awful. Like, I hate the editing in that film so much. It's like edited like it wants to piss me off. Like, scenes never end. It's such a rushed, bad movie, and it's only like occasionally funny. And Jared Leto's performance is like blackface, but like for Italians, and I forgot if there's a term for that. It's insane, but it's like Tropic Thunder, but not ironic. It's like a little ironic, but not nearly to the extent that it was in Tropic Thunder. It was just it's a really bad movie. It's like surprisingly bad because like Ridley Scott released like The Last Duel, which had some pretty bad accents, but it was like mostly a pretty solid movie. It's like a little boring, but like it was solid. But then like House of Gucci's just really bad, like surprisingly bad. Like, all the song choices, all like the licensed song choices in House of Gucci, like drive me up a wall. They're just so out of place. I hate them all. Like, I mean, I'm a little biased on it, but yeah, I hate that movie. Terrible movie, that one. Everyone's just so bad in it. And also, there's a connection between Inland Empire and House of Gucci. I think they both have like the actor for Scar. So there's that. As for the newest Dune movie, it was pretty good. I don't know, I didn't love it too much just because it's part one. Like, I don't know, it's just like, I feel like I'm not fully satisfied with it yet, because it's like, I gotta see part two, then like, I'll really love it. But right now, it's like, you know, it's just holding me back. It's like, you know, it's not showing me the full picture, the full, you know, thematic picture. So it's just like, I'm just waiting on that part two, basically. And once part two comes out, maybe I'll end up liking part one more. But right now, it's like, it's pretty good. You know, it's got great things in it. I have not seen David Lynch's Dune, and like, David Lynch hates that movie. It's just funny, there's like trivia. He says he's not gonna see like the new Dune because it reminds him of like the worst mistake in his life, which is like his version of Dune. It's just like, you know, studio meddling, all that nonsense. I mean, I'll end up watching David Lynch's Dune eventually, but, you know, it's like apparently his worst film, so, you know, it's like, just gotta be prepared for that. Like, my favorite film from last year, I forgot. It might be Mad God, but it might be something else. And what came out last year that was, like, really notable? I mean, I keep track of this on like Letterboxd and all that, so I definitely have it tracked, but I just forgot exactly what it is. Like, the best movie of this year, well, I mean, if you saw my previous upload, Everything Everywhere All at Once, I actually got to meet the directors for that and do a little Q&A. I did not upload the entire Q&A, which I recorded. I just uploaded, like, my question. But yeah, like, that was fun. Like, that movie's, like, probably my favorite of the year so far. But there is, like, quite a lot of great movies coming out this year. Wait, great movies? I mean, The Batman was really good. There was definitely other films I saw. Top Gun. Oh, really love Top Gun. Top Gun might be like my second favorite. I'm just like, I mean, I didn't even like the first Top Gun all that much, but like the second one really spoke to me more. Though there is a few things which, like the second one, stylistically, I would have preferred if they took more cues from the first one. For one, Danger Zone does not get played nearly enough in the second movie. They only played it like once, while in the first movie they played it like 4 or 5 times. Like, I don't know. Like, Danger Zone, it's like, that soundtrack's really iconic. Maybe you should have used it a little bit more. I mean, like, it's excessive in the first movie, but it's like, that's part of the charm, really. So, it only showing up once and nowhere near, like, the climax, that was a bit weird. Oh yeah, I did talk about seeing Top Gun in my Kaito Files video. One point of note is that I saw it like in a very big theater, and there was like this woman near the lower floor, which had like her dogs out. Like, it was like a packed theater, and like this chick's got her dogs out. Like, come on, show some respect for like Tom Cruise and all that. Like, you know, put on your fucking masks. That's not how Tom Cruise sounds. That's more how like David Lynch sounds. And I swore again. It's supposed to be a kids video. I can't put this on YouTube Kids, guy. I'm sorry. You'll have to forgive me for that. This is not gonna be put on YouTube Kids. Too much cursing.
You know, 2 shells are better than 1.
Oh yeah, the American Psycho is a great film. I mean, I hear that Jared Leto was really good in Requiem for a Dream. I have not seen that movie yet, though, so, but I do hear he was pretty good in that. But yeah, I mean, American Psycho, little chow.
Yeah.
Oh, there was one film I saw recently. It's called Men. I hate it. I don't exactly hate it, but it was not very good. And this is the thing, it was so sad because I really love Annihilation. I haven't seen Ex Machina yet, but I really loved Annihilation. And then I saw Men, it was so disappointing. It was like comical at points. Like, that film feels kind of like a parody of like the serious A24 horror film, you know, like the very slow burn, like character, psychological, no jump scare horror movie. Like, Men kind of felt like a parody of that. Like, you know, I feel like people attack some of A24's like, you know, produced films in a kind of unfair way, you know, by calling them that, you know, kind of like calling them pretentious. But like, I feel like those complaints apply to the movie Men. It was just so simple and basic and just like thematically like dry. It's a really nice looking film, and the ending has some really gruesome gore, but most of the film is just so whatever. It was so disappointing. I also saw it with my mom. I don't recommend doing that. The final scene was very uncomfortable. Also, the title is just dumb. It's like Men. Like, you know, when you see a horror film called Men, you expect something like with a pretty dumb premise to it. And like, you know, given the director's output, I was like, okay, they're probably gonna take this in a more interesting route, but they didn't. they took it in like the
We
most
took a sec to
safe,
catch our breath and
like
have a
basic
round.
route. It's like, okay, here's some
Big
Christian
tower.
symbolism.
Long
Here's
way to go before the night.
Yeah, there's not enough depth. The main character is like kind of basic. Every dude in the movie is basic. So it's like maybe the men being basic is fine, but like the main character doesn't have that much going on. So it's just like, you know, hooray! You did it. You talked about important issues, I guess, but you did it in like the most trite way possible. So yeah, really pretty looking film. I wish it was better, but it just wasn't. Ah. I mean, is Top Gun propaganda? Probably, but I've also kind of come to terms with most films are propaganda, and a film being propaganda doesn't mean it's bad. Like, I don't know. There's films from like, there's like Russian films from the 20s, which are like communist propaganda that like are
still
still
amazing films. Like, I don't know, Man with a Movie Camera is like still considered like one of the greatest films of all time. I don't know if I feel like that, but like that film's got history, you know? It's got history with like filmmaking techniques and all that. Like, it is such an influential film, and it's like technically propaganda, but it's still great, you know? I mean, as long as like it's not fucking Birth of the Nation, like I think it being propaganda is fine. You know, like, I mean, okay, fucking Birth of the Nation, there's no excuse for that. Like, that should be fucking eliminated. That should not be considered in any positive context. As long as it's not that, then I think it's fine it being propaganda. Or, like, as long as it's not like that film, which has, like, Hitler in, like, an airplane or something, then, like, you're probably fine with it being propaganda. Like, I mean, you know, there's, like, conversations that, like, most MCU movies are propaganda, and it's just, like, I don't know what to do with that. It's like, okay, I guess. I mean, as long as, like, it's not, like, hate speech or something, it's fine. Like, there's another film from, like, another Russian film from the 20s, Battleship Potemkin, which has a lot of really fantastic scenes in it. There's, like, that scene on, like, the stairway. Amazing. Great stuff. You know, like, who cares if it's propaganda? It's a pretty great film.
Yeah.
Anyways, to get away from the propaganda talk, there's the Joan of Arc movie, which has like mostly a bunch of like close-ups on faces. Another really great movie. Highly recommend that one. But when it comes to really old movies, M has a really special place in my heart. Really love the movie M. It's about like this child murderer who like they're trying to hunt down. It's like this whole like satire on society and all that. It just like gets so crazy. Like the final scene, like the acting, that's just like such a classic movie. Like it's a little dated with the sound design, but like everything else is just so catchy and modern. Just really love it. It has a really great match cut at a certain point. Really love that film M. Definitely check out M if you're willing. It's from the 30s and it's like, I think it's one of my favorite films. Really love M. I mean, my name starts with M. The movie's M. Very nice. Love that film. Love that film to bits. I did not expect to like it as much as I did, but I really did. I still have not seen the movie Metropolis, which is directed by the person who directed M. So I definitely need to see Metropolis at some point. I had a chance to see it in theater, but I missed my chance, and I'm very sad about that.
Yeah.
Oh wait, but yeah, when it comes to propaganda, Top Gun. So yeah, the first film is very homoerotic, and honestly, that's what's good about it. Like honestly, if it was less homoerotic, it would be a worse movie. That's part of the charm. As for the propaganda, I don't know. Take it as you will. I don't mind it much. I mean, as long as you're aware that it's kind of propaganda, then it's fine, really. I mean, that's the thing. As long as you're aware, that you can enjoy like what the film does really well. And what the film does really well is just like it has a really strong like I don't know. It's just like when it comes to like old films with like homoeroticism in them, Point Break's a lot better. I don't know. I love Point Break. Like Top Gun, like I really like it. It's fun, but like Point Break is a classic. I love that movie. I got to see Point Break in theaters on film, and there was a point where the film was like so scratched that it was just a complete blue screen for 5 seconds. So yeah, that was funny. You know, like Point Break is just I love that movie. Love that one line in the movie where he's like, "You're like the Blue Flame Special, young, dumb, full of cum." Who says that? Oh, classic movie that one. Oh, that's scary. What do I do with this? Okay, maybe this. Like, I mean, the last time I did like a little movie ranking video, it was about Fast and Furious. Oh, those Fast and Furious movies, I hear there's a lot of drama going on with Vin Diesel, like not keeping in shape or something. And also, the director quit because he was like too annoying to deal with. So that's something. Like, the Fast and Furious movies have been getting very annoying. 9 was really annoying. I mean, like I found it really funny because I watched it with my friend, and my friend was like feeling suicidal by the end. Like that's why that movie was fun, but it's just like they're getting really annoying because like, yeah, they're crazy movies, but like they kind of lost the heart. I don't know. I mean, like 5, 6, and 7 are like insane, dumb, stupid movies, but like they had a charm to them, which is just gone now with like 9. It's like 9 just kind of feels sterile. Something about it's just very sterile. I mean, I mentioned it in my video. It's like way less like sexual about things. Like, I mean, like all the previous movies had like, you know, all those like low angle shots. So it's like, oh my god, is that a butt? But that's like gone in the new movie, which like I don't know if that's a positive or negative really. I don't know what to make of it, but it's definitely a change. But like, it's just like they brought Han back, and it's just like I feel nothing. Even though Han's like one of the coolest characters in the series, there's like no emotion to it. It's just so lame. And it is weird because, you know, they're going to space, they're doing all this insane stuff, but it's just not the same no more. It really has run its course. I mean, there's like plenty of times you could say it's run its course, but like by now, it's really run its course. Like, well, I mean, what are they gonna do for 10? They're gonna do a thing. Jason Momoa is gonna be in it. That's pretty sick. I don't know what Jason Momoa is gonna do in it, but yo, Jason Momoa being in it's pretty sick. What was I supposed to do there? So that was a weird thing. What? Ooh, that was a weird angle.
It's Johnny.
They're rushing me. What? What was that? How was I supposed to deal with that? What is this? What a bad game. What an insufferable, boring game this one is. So poorly designed. I hate this game. Oh, I think I messed up.
Awesome.
Oh, bro. Oh. Wait. What happened? What a weird section. I definitely don't remember this as a kid. Maybe I do. I don't know. It's just weird. It's like in the unconscious whether I remember this or not. All I can say is this reminds me of like Travis Strikes Again's final level because it's just so white, so blaring white. Dude, look at the bloom here. Okay, so you have to be really fast for this and also do that. You better not freaking laser me. Don't laser me, yo. Oh, what? Okay, so don't do the Mikey thing. It's too slow. You have to do another thing, which is faster. That's like a weirdly punishing section because like the rest of this section has been really easy, and then you get to this part. Like, I mean, this part's not like that hard, but it's like there's a little bit more punishment to like messing up once. And There we go. I think that's swell. So what do I do now? No! There's some wall jumping involved. I really hope Jason Momoa drives like a freaking scuba. Because he's like Aquaman. He should be able to drive an aqua vehicle. The first Aquaman is like the greatest 4 out of 10 movie I've ever seen. You know, very wonderful garbage. That Pitbull remix of Toto's Africa is awful. And okay, like, so yeah, that's like the greatest 4 out of 10 movie I've ever seen. It's bad, it's awful, but I do find some enjoyment from it. Like, I don't know, my favorite, like, out of the DC movies, I mean, it's like the Suicide Squad movie, the most recent one. It was pretty good, maybe a little too cynical for my taste, but like, there's just so much like fun, like, just like creativity to that movie, just like the way they transition from scene to scene, just like the whole setup. There's just so much passion to it, and like also like technical like craft, like, you know, it's like there's some like good merit to it. I really like that. Before that, it's Shazam. I don't know, the only issue with Shazam is that it's a little basic. Like, I don't know, I mean, like, the cinematography isn't really on par. I don't know, the thing with Shazam is that I really like it. It's like really reminiscent of like those Sam Raimi movies, but they're not exactly as well crafted as those Sam Raimi movies. Like, no, just like Sam Raimi's just like on another level when it comes to like directing those movies, and it's like that personality isn't exactly there with Shazam, but like, you know, but like kind of like the heart of it is there, and I do like that about those Shazam movies. Though they're also in terms of plot, they're not the most. They're not the most. It's not the most the most. I don't know where I'm going with that. It has some issues, but they're not that big. It's like one of my favorite out of like the new DC movies, because that Justice League director's cut, it was kind of boring. I was kind of fine with it. I don't know. Like, I was like, oh, Flash is pretty cool. I was like, oh, Cyborg's pretty cool. And everyone else I could kind of like give or take. But it was just kind of like, okay, it's like 3 hours. It's mostly kind of boring CGI fights. But hey, at least there's no dumb boob jokes like the Joss Whedon version. So I definitely appreciate that. And you know, I mean, I was like kind of feeling the Justice League director's cut, but then like the last 20 minutes happened and it was just like a bunch of sequel teasing, and I got really pissed with the movie. And now I kind of hate it. It's just like, couldn't stand like that garbage scene with like Batman and the Joker and like the whole thing with like baiting a sequel. It's like the movie's like 4 hours long and you're still going to sequel bait. Like, that's insufferable. Also, I've already done this this level I've already done it, but one thing which they have not done is add electricity to the poles. Oh, this is a challenge. And I could have sworn I grabbed that pole. What is that? Come on. I definitely grabbed that pole. I definitely grabbed that pole. I don't know what this game's like. This game is like tricking out. Oh. Okay, we go. We're past the electricity. I definitely grabbed that pole. I'll just say that. Like, I mean, the pole timing for, like, getting a good jump, like, immediately one after the other, it's a bit weird, but you can get used to it. Oh, dude. Hey, don't blame me. Alright, so we're past that. Is the game's frame rate going down? Is this slow down, or is it just like a weird camera? I don't know.
Awesomely super sensationalistic,
This dude just said California sexy Hellas flag dopeness, but in Turtle Talk. So, what killed me? What has killed me? The movie Moonlight, I saw it a really long time ago, so like I'm not fully concrete on that, but it's a great movie. But I mean, if I had to tell you why, I don't fully know. But yeah, it was a really great movie. Okay, so this is a weird obstacle. It's like if you don't jump on this fast enough, you die? Okay. I also remember really liking La La Land, but I also have not seen that in a really long time. So I have to rewatch that. Same thing with that director's other movie, First Man. I saw that in theaters. Really great Neil Armstrong movie, but once again, it's been a while since I've seen it, so I could jump on that. Oh yeah, recently I saw The Northman. Yeah, Northman's a really great movie. Like, I don't know where I'd rank it. I don't think I like it better than The Lighthouse, but it was a really, like, fantastic movie. It's like a little bit more of a serious take on like Braveheart. I mean, like Braveheart, I also think is a fantastic movie, but you know, it's like really humorous too. Like I don't know, The Northman kind of felt a little bit more like taking itself seriously, even though it did play around sometimes with comedy, but very briefly, and also kind of like in a realistic way. Because I don't know, there's like comedy that's like really out there and like, you know, like comical, and then there's like comedy that feels like really ingrained in like a serious tone. Because like, I don't know how to describe it, but it's definitely a thing in movies. I mean, it should come as no surprise as, like, me being film bro, yeah, The Godfather is also fantastic. Godfather 1 and 2, like, you know, 10 out of 10 movies, love them. But another film that dude made, The Conversation, is also great. Definitely, if you haven't seen The Conversation, definitely check that one out. It's also another masterpiece from him. But one film which I have not seen is Apocalypse Now. Definitely got to get around to that one at some point. I have not seen it. I will say, when it comes to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movies, hey look, something actually related to the game. I remember as a kid, I saw the second one. I don't think I ever saw like the first like live action one. I did see the second one, The Secret of the Ooze, at my cousin's house. And like, you know, when I was a kid, that movie was a banger. And we did own the third one, though I don't know if I looked on the third one with as much positive reception as the second one. To be fair, as a kid, I didn't know if movies were bad or not. I mean, I just know that I definitely saw the second one a lot more than I did the third one at my cousin's house. Like the third one, he definitely had it, but I don't know if we really got together as like for sleepovers to see it. But the second one was definitely that kind of movie. I definitely remember that. I definitely have memories of seeing the second one with my cousin. Third one, it existed. We definitely saw it once, I think, but I think we got bored by it at one point. I don't know. It's a hazy memory. I definitely remember seeing TMNT in theaters. I also saw the Michael Bay ones, which the Michael Bay produced ones, but it's kind of got like a stench on it. They feel very much like those Transformer live action movies. Like I hated the first Michael Bay one. Second one was a little better. It's got a funny pig in it, but you know, like I don't have the most extensive history with TMNT. I did watch the Future series from 4Kids. Definitely think I've seen a few episodes of like the 2003 series, which has really cool designs. And that's kind of about it. I played some Turtles in Time at an arcade, which has some really old stuff. The Galloping Ghost arcade. It's like 50 minutes in an Uber. It's in the middle of nowhere. It smells bad, but it has like 400 games. And it was a pretty cool place. Though it does smell bad, but I have a pretty weak smell. I don't know. I think I've had a pretty weak smell my whole life, but I think COVID might have affected it or not. I don't know. I don't know what to think with that, but I don't mind the smell too much, but there is a smell. I'll say that. I mean, it's like 400 games, and like, if there's 400 games, then like, I think 400 people could definitely be in the building at one time, though. When I went, there was not 400 people, but there definitely was, it was a big crowd. you know, just playing games. They got Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, and all that. It was a really cool place. So like definitely, it's got a ton of really old stuff. They had Super Monkey Ball. They had like a no, I don't even think it had the Super confix to it. It was Monkey Ball. They had a Monkey Ball game, which like the first time I went there it was broken, but the second time it actually worked. You could play Monkey Ball. It had like a little joystick that was a banana. It was sick. However, every time I've gone there, the House of the Dead machines have been broken. But I guess that doesn't matter because now I have House of the Dead 2 and 3 for the Wii. And that's the thing, I have some history with that. So, one of my neighbors, they owned, like there was like 2 mature games which I saw like someone play as a kid, and I really wanted to play those games when I grew up because I could not play them at the point because my mom wouldn't let me. So pretty much in Venezuela, oh I'm from Venezuela by the way, I saw like one of my family members playing God of War 2, though I didn't know it was God of War 2 at the time, but like I definitely saw him play it. And I was like it was like midnight or something, and I was supposed to be asleep, but I was like watching him play this game, and I was like, my mom and dad were like, "Hijo, ir a dormir," and I was like, "Okay," but I was like, I want to play this when I grow up. And another game which I had the similar thoughts of that was the House of the Dead 2 and 3 game. So I was like, when I grow up, I want to play this game. And now I own both of them, so I have accomplished that goal. And, okay, I've beaten God of War 2. I have not beaten House of the Dead 2 and 3, though I have played them in arcades. Never got that far, but I have played them, so... I guess, like, in order to finish that goal, I have to beat House of the Dead 2 and 3 on the Wii.
That boulder, remember? Yeah, dude, how could I forget?
A lot of short hops. A lot of short hops here.
All right.
Wait, what? Wait. Am I going the right way? Okay, the camera is focused to go here, so I think I am. Yep. So this is a new gimmick. We got a laser machine chasing us. Spooky. I am kind of tired. Oh, wow. Electric. All right.
Not me. It was the night one.
Okay, I think I definitely remember playing this level, so I think I did get this far as a kid. Because I do remember electric water. I mean, like this electric water, not the electric water that's like actually cool. Like this one. I mean, this one's like cool, but it's not as cool as the one with the platforms in Donatello stage. I really love that electric water. Really cool. Oh my goodness. Oh, we are in a tricky situation. Oh look, a coin. If I didn't go down here, I would have missed that coin. Ugh. What? Okay, I could fall from a certain height, but if I fall there, I die? That's stupid. Why is it designed like that? Come on. Get real. Oh! And a pull. Okay. Okay.
Oh no.
I was on the ball. How does that work? Maybe if I do that.
Nice one.
Okay, that was a bit of a creative little set piece. I like that. You know, it's like you're mixing things up in an unconventional fashion. And what are the rules to this game? You can fall from there, but you can't fall from there because like the checkpoint. What is going on?
Oh no.
Oh. That's a nice way to use that ability. I like that. Okay. So I gotta watch out for electricity. This is the first time these things have been electrified. Which, hey, it's nice that we have things that are appearing for the first time, because most of this game is just the same things appearing over and over again. So, like, it definitely adds to how samey and... Oh, if you want to do a wall run, you can't! I don't like that. I really like doing wall runs, so I don't like that they kind of blocked it off here. Because, you know, it would have been nice if I could do this and also a wall run, but you can't do a wall run, so it's like, ah. I like the wall runs. Why take them away? Like, I mean, this isn't as impressive because the game has already done it. However, there are new things happening. Like, I mean, we have never had a platform that far away in this level. So this is new. But it's also like, it's not...
If you want it to be
Don't
done
do
in
me like
style,
this.
I'm your guy.
Now, I went to a game store to get some stuff for my N64, which I got, and it was, I can't use because I need the S-video cables, and also an expansion pack to play Majora's Mask. But I saw that Kung Fu Panda for the PS2 was available for $6. And I was considering getting it, but I was kind of like, how different is it from the PS3 and like Xbox 360 version? Because like that's the one I played as a kid and never beat. And I realized it's just a really big graphical downgrade. And I was just kind of like, it was like a really big graphical downgrade. Like to the point where I was kind of like, you know what? I think I'm going to get it for the PS3 instead of getting it, you know, for the PS2. It just didn't feel right. Like, I mean, playing TMNT on the GameCube here, like that's fine. Playing Sonic Unleashed on the Wii, that's like a different game. I'm fine with that. But like playing the PS2 version of Kung Fu Panda, when like the Xbox 360 and PS3 versions existed, it just did not feel right. So if I ever do play Kung Fu Panda, like I'll play that on the PS3, and if I feel so inclined, maybe revisit it on the PS2. But I really don't feel that inclined. Okay, I think this is the level which I got to, and then the game got stuck at. I think this is that
Ninja
level.
Turtles, and we're here to stop you from bringing more monsters on Earth.
You have it all wrong, my friend. It was a time of legends.
Ooh, there we go.
A
CGI
time of greatness.
from the movie.
There was a man named Yotl, and together with his 4 warrior priest generals, they pillaged every culture in their path. Then they came across a culture rich with science, magic, and technology. Sort of a South American version of Atlantis. It was like blood in the water. I had to pay a price. We were cursed that day. My 4 comrades in arms were turned into stone. My curse was to be immortal, to never die, but to feel the pain of losing the ones you loved time and time again. We were doomed to live this way until we corrected the mistakes of our past. That's what this is all about. Finally getting a chance to right our wrongs and to be at peace. Finally.
So I'm looking at films from 2021, and I'm coming across like 3 favorites of mine. I think like my top 3 favorite films from that year would be The French Dispatch, Mad God, and The West Side Story. I surprisingly really loved the West Side Story remake. Like, it was just such an energetic viewing. I mean, it's like a very simple story. I mean, but like I just loved it. So I was really down with that. I rewatched the original and I just didn't like it as much as the new one, but it does have a lot more color to it, which, I mean, that was nice. Also, they're going to be showing that on film at 70mm at the Music Box. I don't know if I should do a little rewatch of that first movie, but yeah, I really like the remake. Honestly, just I really loved it. But yeah, those are probably like my top 3 movies from that year, like my favorites. Yeah. Ooh, this is a really cool shade of green. I do like this shade of green. There's like the Kiwami green, and then there's like the aqua green. And oh, we're gonna have a boss rush? Alright, alright. Alright, so this guy, we fought him as Donatello. Let's fight him as Donatello. So I forgot exactly how this guy works. He kind of like rushes at you, and then you go. Yeah, you go in for a little combo. What? Oh, that's some bull. That is some bull. I was just doing my combo. I did nothing wrong. That combo can knock you off the stage? That's ridiculous. That is absurd. How dare you? That shouldn't even be something that happens. That's stupid. Okay, so that's like one reason not to use Donatello. Okay, Raphael has the highest attack, so like honestly it's probably best to use him. And oh, what is going on here? Oh, that's the attack.
You ready, big guy?
I don't know if that did that much damage. At least I don't think I didn't see anything. What's going on? He's got like a new attack pattern. He's not doing his predictable thing. Okay, he's back to his predictable thing. Okay. So now he's at one point he's just gonna freaking. Oh yeah, Raphael! Look at that damage. That is a lot more than Donatello. Oh, okay, that's a lot of damage. Never mind, that attack's really good. And now, Mr. Shield Man. Oh, that's not Shield Man, that's someone else. Okay. Little God of War 2 attack here, okay. Even though I don't think Zeus's attack in God of War 2 is like this. Okay, now we have to fight the hammer guy.
I, General Mono, puny mortals.
We're not really puny. Technically, we're pretty big for our species.
Turtle finished.
Hey. This attack, I just... Oh, you just keep running and that's good. I wonder if I do Leonardo. Oh, hey, Leonardo, get out the way. Never mind, no more Leonardo. He's a little too full of himself. Oh, and we're back to this. Okay. Hey! What is that? Come on. Get real. Wait, this guy's health bar is a little much. Come on, get him, get him, get him, get him, get him, get him. That did nothing. Come on. That's so sad. Okay, now I kind of got. Never mind. All right, let's get him.
Ain't got time for this.
There we go. Come on. Come on. Stop doing that.
Smash you!
Oh, what if we do him as Mikey?
Oh yeah.
Okay, okay, that seems like pretty good damage for Mikey. Oh, he's even stunned by Mikey. Okay, so I think these guys all have like a weakness, maybe, to certain enemies. Okay, Mikey, that's a bit much. That's a bit much. You can stop now. You can stop now, Mikey. Mikey, please. Let's get the iframes. What?
Beg for mercy! I, General Mono, puny mortals.
Is this like the last level of the game? Because I do remember the PSP game ending with like kind of a little boss rush of everyone. So I guess that's like one thing the PSP game kept the same. You had to fight all the boss fights, about the same. Like I barely remember how the PSP game even was, but I definitely played it. What an annoying game. Hey! Watch yourself. Oh, come on. These shockwaves are so... I hate them. They're my least favorite shockwaves in gaming.
better than one.
Okay, what do I even do? Did I just avoid that? Oh, that's just an insta kill?
Shell shock.
Beg for mercy! I, General Mono, puny mortals.
We're not really puny. Technically, we're pretty big for our species.
Oh, we're pretty big for our species. I will say, it's weird that we live in a world where Silent Hill 2 somehow costs more than Drakengard. Like, I went to that store, and they were selling Drakengard for less than Silent Hill 2. Like, Silent Hill 2 doesn't seem like a game that would cost, like, $120. It doesn't, like, I don't know, that's like, that's what Drakengard I thought would cost. But no, it was like, they were selling it for like 70 or 80 bucks. But like, Silent Hill 2 is the one that costs more? Are you kidding me? Like, Silent Hill 2 has a lot more clout than Drake, well, maybe not these days. Silent Hill's a pretty dead franchise. Like, at least the Drakengard franchise, you know, Nier, has like new installments going on. So, you know, I'm kind of wrong on that. But still, Drakengard is such an obscure-ass little game, like the first one, and specifically. I don't think many people who are like playing Nier Automata, even Drakengard 3, they're not playing Drakengard 1. Like, I mean, part of it is that game's a pain in the ass to play. I've played it. The combat in that is soul-crushing, and like, it's part of the point, but it's also like, it sucks ass. But it has such a great story, so it's like, it really is worth it in the end. It's a really great experience, but I'm telling you that gameplay sucks ass unless you are riding a dragon, because the dragon stuff is pretty cool. But like, the main combat is so soul-crushing. I hate it. So to get that game does not cost as much as Silent Hill 2. It's just like, what? In what universe?
Shells are better than one.
Maybe if I do this instead. I hope so. Oh, it worked! That's cool! Oh, so if you do that attack, you can avoid his big dumb attack. That's cool. Like, I have really fond experience of Drakengard, but that gameplay is horrendous. It's like Dynasty Warriors if you feel more suicidal about it. I have not played Drakengard 3 though. I played Nier 1, though I didn't get all the endings. Well, I should probably clarify, I did not get ending E of Drakengard 1. I got all the other endings, but believe me, the grind to get ending E, I was not putting up with that. And also, like, my save file's gone, so I can't get it back. So I'm not going through all that again. But I did get endings A, B, C, and D, and like, it was very fascinating stuff. But Nier, I only got endings A and B, never got around to doing C and D. For Nier Automata, I got all the main story endings. I mean, there's also like, you know, F, G, E, F, G, E, Z. I did not do those. Did not 100% that game. And that's about my experience in Yoko Taro. Would be cool to no damage. No. Okay, here's the thing with the first Nier. It has a normal difficulty and a hard difficulty. And the hard difficulty makes every single boss fight a damage sponge. And there's this mechanic in the first Nier game where once the boss fight reaches a certain health point, you have to like destroy a certain like real health he has underneath like his health bar in order to like proceed with the boss fight. But on hard, they have so much health, they end up like dragging out the fight. Like, I mean, there's like a phase 1. In order to move on to phase 3, you have to like destroy a certain piece of armor. But you have to like destroy that piece of armor in a certain amount of time. But that certain amount of time doesn't really matter in like like hard mode, because it means you'll only be able to take out like half of that armor on hard, and then you have to like repeat the entire first phase all over again. It's a nightmare. I don't know like how I deal with like no damaging the Nier boss fights on hard. I don't think I want to. Nier Automata is a different case. It's a much more fair game when it comes to combat, and also just has more going on with combat. Even though its combat isn't as good as something like Bayonetta or some of other Platinum's games' combat systems, but it's still really fun. But I played it when I was kind of a scrub at games. I mean, I say scrub as in I didn't do any like no damage attempts. So like, I mean, I'll have to like relearn Automata, whatever Automata is going for. Because I did not really understand that combat system like fully in depth. So it'll be fun to return and actually kind of like get jiggy with it. Also, my first time through, I didn't really do much of the side quests in Nier Automata. like how every time I jump, I just jump on top of the thorny hammer. That's really funny. I like that. Dude, come on. Stop getting hit by the shockwaves. I hate these shockwaves. They're so awkward. Come on, you're dead. Come on. Get real. You are dead. There we go. That's right. You are dead. Yeah, keep falling over. You're dead. The guy keeps coming back. Stay down. Do I have to do like the big super attack to take him out? Okay, I'll do one. Yeah, stay down. Dumb idiot. Oh. Okay, electricity. Oh.
Neither human nor animal.
Now you will feel the wrath of Serpiente.
Oh no, not paying a PS like. It's a PS2 game, not the PS2 console. I actually got my PS2 for like $30 at a record store. And oh, I forgot about this chick. She freaking teleports. Like, I mean, there is a dodge button, but I'm just gonna use the jump button instead.
Can you take?
Freaking Devil May Cry, Virgil ass boss fight over here. Ooh, real combo mat over here. Ooh, the real no damage. Ooh, real stylish no damage over here. Ooh, like this fight conceptually is cool, but the combat, there's not much to it, you know. But conceptually, this is like the best. I mean, this is like the best boss out of all of them. Even though it's like the first one, but like a little bit harder because she's faster than like the first guy. Like conceptually, this is like that Virgil fight. But there's not much to it, like I said. Leo just loves doing these long overdue animations, and oh, this is the attack that killed Raphael, the Kiwami attack. Oh. Okay, what about Mikey? I mean, Mikey was really good against the rock guy. Okay, what's the weakness of this chick? Is it Donatello? It might be Donatello. Okay, let's see if we can do that. Oh, she teleports. Did that do anything? I think Donatello just took a ton of damage. Oh, this reminds me of No More Heroes 2 with like that stupid poison chick. She's like one of the worst characters in the game, and her boss fight's annoying to no damage.
Turtles taste so good.
Okay, so Donatello might die from doing this. Alright, so Michelangelo keeps saying to tag him in, so it was probably Michelangelo's turn to do that. Alright, Michelangelo keeps saying to come in. Is she weak to Michelangelo? I mean, I feel like the big stone guy was weak to Michelangelo, but was he? I don't even know. I don't even know if any of them are weak to anything. But hey, let's do that. Oh, Mikey's just a cool guy. I'm sure he knows how to kill her. That damage bar is going down really fast, so maybe Mikey is the one for the job. Oh my goodness. Hey, Mikey. Mikey, my boy. Alright, so let's do this attack instead. Oh, yep. Mikey's the turtle for the job. So now we get to fight the big cheese. I don't remember him turning into a stone guy in the movie, though. I mean, he probably did, but I just don't remember it. Alright, so big main character guy is probably weak to Leonardo. I have not seen this guy's moveset, so I don't know what he's going to bring to the table. He's got this big old sword. Oh, Mikey wants to be involved? Alright, let's get Mikey involved. Oh! Oh? Okay. We can throw back his projectiles at him? That's cool. Could we do that with some of the other boss fights? Oh, weird learning about that now. Oh? Everyone wants to use their own different attacks? Okay. Oh, it's like a conceptual story thing. That's weird. It's cool. But it's like nothing else in the game did that. But that is pretty cool. So wait, is this boss fight just kind of like a press B to win? I guess it is.
Better than what? Need my size?
Oh my goodness.
I'm here for you.
So this boss fight really isn't much of a boss fight.
Perfect line, better approach.
You just do the special attacks of all the turtles. It's like, hey, family. I was expecting the
Big Cheese to be more of a big cheese fight, but I guess not. I guess that's the end of the game. Okay. I guess we're done. This is definitely the ending. I'm gonna drink some water. Ah, the Kiwami sky. It's a good thing we're getting rid of it.
That was simply awesome. I never thought we'd be able to pull it off, but we did it. You got that right, bro. And we did it. The four of us, together as a team.
You know, that day we learned a whole lot. It's changed us all for the better, and made us who we are today.
Hey guys,
Ah, thanks for telling me.
What kind of food is there in a monster realm? What?
Don't ever change, Mikey.
Oh, he has a little sad death scene where he turns into a blue ball. Everything evaporates. Whoosh. I remember as a kid, I was like, oh, this is the freaking dust now. It's pretty cool dust, I won't lie.
Max Winters had given his life a meaning by trying to fix his past. Maybe that's what broke the curse.
Yeah, that was pretty creepy. The guy started floating, and then he vanished, like dust.
I thought it was serene.
You would, wouldn't you? See, I thought it was
Raphael.
nice. I thought it was nice.
Now, I was told that there was like 3 more levels after the main levels. I don't know what those 3 levels are, but apparently they exist. I don't know. Now, if I have to do something like weird to unlock them, I'm not gonna do them. But if I can just do them right now, I might do them right now. Because I mean, might as well. I'm planning on making this the final stream of TMNT. I'm not exactly itching to return to this game anytime soon. It was pretty mid most of the time. I'm gonna rate it like a 5 out of 10. If I'm feeling nice, a 6. It's just too samey. A lot of it just kind of blends together. It's not. There's not much to it. I mean, the jumping's pretty fun. But then like all the combat sections drag it down
That's why I
a
love
lot.
telling it to him. Sure
Boss
was
fights
bad
are
at the
like,
time,
But it made us way stronger, too. That's because we're a family, guys. And
I
there
don't
ain't
know.
nothing stronger
There's
than
better
that.
licensed games out there. I'm sure the Ghost Rider game's better. I want to beat that one.
Proud of you, because you all learned it together.
But hey, it was nice finally getting to beat this little childhood classic game. This level was 42 minutes long. That's nearly an hour. On just this level. Oh no.
Ninjutsu is a skill based on balance, speed, and agility.
I don't want to hear
suggest
it.
you work on your speed.
Oh, there we go. Credits. Should I let the credits play? Oh, there's a nice little clapping animation. This reminds me of Ocarina of Time, but why do I get the feeling they're not gonna go to any other area? I think they're just gonna be here. In Ocarina of Time's credits are like crazy. It goes through like the entire game world, like all the characters, all doing their own thing. I really regret selling my copy of Ocarina of Time on the N64, because now I might have to buy it back for like $50 or $60. Well, actually, that's not true. Because on eBay, they have like reproduction versions of it, which will probably cost like $20, so it won't be that bad. But I mean, I'm not really interested in playing Ocarina of Time right now. I beat that game on the N64. A game I did not beat on the N64 was Majora's Mask. So that's the one I really want to get into. That's something I wanted to do in high school, never got around to it, but now I have the power once my S-Video cables come in and once I drop the money to get the expansion pack. And that'll be coming way later. So that whatever I do with Majora's Mask will not be anytime soon. Not at all. So it's just gonna be here. It's just gonna be the turtles clapping. I do think it is important to pay credit to everyone that made this game. Some of these people definitely modeled the rat. some of these people definitely modeled and like animated how the rat moves in this game, and I like the rats in this game, so I think it's important to give credit where credit is due and let the credits give themselves credit where credit is due. I have not thrown away any of the garbage which was inside of the N64, protecting it from being damaged through the mail system. I'm gonna go throw that away. It reminds me, Yakuza Dead Souls probably has my favorite credit sequence out of any of the Yakuza games. It's just so classic. I just love it. I mean, Judgment also has a really great one. Really love the credit sequence in Judgment. So it's either Judgment or Dead Souls, which has the best credits out of any of the Yakuza games. Just really lovely, lovely way to end the game. Love that stuff. How long is this gonna go on? Because if there's like 3 extra levels, are they after this credits? I don't know. I'm gonna give this game 3 stars out of 5. It's a 6 out of 10. I want to write a review for it, but I'm just kind of like, I don't know what to write it. I'm just going to say like, yeah, the jumping was very good, but it wasn't challenging enough consistently a lot of the time. A lot of the obstacles were kind of samey. Combat is a constant drag. It's too simple to insist upon itself that hard in terms of the combat. Really wish the combat just had more going to it, just more. Every single enemy's like the same. Yeah, the archers are like different, but you don't deal with them differently. You still kill them the same. You still like mean to. Combat's just so boring. It's not fun. It's not punchy or like fast enough. It's just. It's not. It's not. It's not. That's true. I mean, like, credits is important. You gotta let the whole thing play out or you won't realize that they actually put in credits for the testers. Some of these people, I think, definitely worked on, like, Splinter Cell. There's no way. A team this big, some of these people have gotta be involved in Splinter Cell. I mean, like, it was two pretty big, like, live streams, though. I mean, it's like 3 hours. I'm assuming this I also took 3 hours here. So it's like, that's like 6 hours. So I beat this game in like 6 or 7 hours. I mean, a lot of speedruns I see of this game, it's definitely not 2. It's definitely not 2 hours. Though I might be misremembering that. Oh. Alright. Yeah, if I skipped the credits, we wouldn't know who this game is in memory for. It was important to wait that out. Okay. My thoughts on the Ninja Turtles game with Yakuza combat, it would certainly be better than the combat in this game. Give me any of the combat systems in any of the Yakuza games and it would be better than the combat systems in this game. Give me Yakuza 1 on the PS2, that would be leagues above what's in this game. Give me Dead Souls combat, it would be leagues above what's in this game. This game's combat system is so boring. Literally any Yakuza game is more engaging than the combat in this game. Give me Yakuza 6 combat. Give me any combat system that is not this. Combat is not this game's strong point whatsoever. So, if there's more levels... Oh? Wait. Okay, wait. I got a rank on that level. I got a rank on this level. I guess there's no secret levels. There's challenge maps, but I'm not doing those. That's like 100% sort of thing. So I guess you have to like do the challenge maps to unlock the other levels, maybe? I'm not putting up with that though. Is it in extras? There's artwork and video. Oh, there's the challenge maps. Oh, I'm assuming the challenge map is just like the other maps, but... Oh, this is like some Solid Snake, Metal Gear sort of thing going on here. I'm definitely not doing all of these things, but this is kind of a cool extra. What is this? I'm kind of interested in this. This is like some VR mission sort of thing. Look at that! Ayo, this is sick! Yo, look at this! Maybe this isn't the final stream. Yo, look at this! Yo, we got some VR missions up in here. You know, like we get Metal Gear Solid 2's VR missions, they're cool, but like They are so bloated. I hate them. You have to do like the same thing 10 times over because there's like different characters that have to do the exact same thing. Hey, this is cool. Because like what I like about this game is the platforming. I don't like that this... I mean, here's the thing with Metal Gear Solid 2. Something which I really like about Metal Gear Solid 2 is just the main campaign. I love the main campaign in Metal Gear Solid 2. And like, yeah, the individual gameplay is good. So having that in bite-sized chunks is fun. But I also like the main campaign. But the main campaign in this game gets boring. Gets really boring. You know what I mean? I've complained throughout these streams that like the main campaign in this game can get really aggravating. So to have more bite-sized chunks of gameplay is really cool, but not combat. I don't care about combat. This is getting skipped. I only care about the platforming. So I guess if you get a good rank on certain levels, you unlock these challenge maps. Okay, so if it's platforming, I'm gonna do it. If it's combat, I'm skipping it. Not it. Oh, look at this Super Mario Galaxy stuff here. This is so cool. Look at this. This is like the coolest thing in the game. It's like... Hey, we can do it again. I'm down to do it again. Look at this. All Mario Sunshine looking levels over here. All futuristic, like freaking Brainiacs over here. Where's Brainiacs? Yo, bring him over. Yeah! Ah! That caught me off guard. Yeah, I hate the combat in this game. Like, I mean, it's like, it's fine, but then it gets like, it's the same thing over and over for like 5 to 6 hours, and it's just, it's so old. It gets so old. There's nothing to it. There's like charge attacks, which like, you know, makes it easier to like make the game less boring. There's like the super moves you can do with the turtles, which is like, okay, there's a big super move, it does a big explosion. And it's like, it's just not engaging. I can't stand it. I just can't stand it. But this platforming here, ooh, this is cool. How long has this stream been going on for? I'm definitely not keeping track. Look at this! Yeah! This is what I like about the game. Okay, I'm definitely gonna keep it at 6 stars. Like, it's not gonna be 5 stars. I'll say that much. It's not gonna be 5 stars. This is really cool stuff. Alright, so 3+ hours, same as the first stream. So I'll just keep doing a couple of these levels. Haven't unlocked that one. I don't know how I'm gonna unlock that one, but hey. Ooh, we got red. Look at that. We got blue, we got red. Oh, this is cool. Wait, what? I got him. Oh.
I'm sorry, my brothers.
So the red is just like invisible. Or whatever. It's a cool design. Look at that. Haha. Look at this. Yeah, this game is awesome. Oh.
Oh no.
Oh, come on. It's kind of disingenuous. It just feels kind of bad to make this the final stream, because like, I'm definitely not gonna do all the VR missions in this video. But I don't know if I'm that compelled to do all of them in like another video, like, you know, because like, I'm assuming to unlock all the other VR missions, you have to like get a good grade on some of the missions I got a bad grade on, but I'm not revisiting those missions. And I definitely don't want to do the combat scenarios. I don't care. I don't care enough about those combat scenarios. I love the way like that platform kind of gloops into like the gloopy lava. It's like, yeah. Oh, wow. Oh. There we go. Look at this. Why couldn't more of the game be like this? So I'm getting really bad ranks on these levels because like I'm only getting like 1 or 2 turtle shells, and I'm assuming if I did better I'd get 3, but or is getting 1 shell mean I'm first place? I'm really confused by this because I'm assuming getting 3 shells is better than getting like, you know, 1 shell, but if I get 1 shell I'm in first place? I mean, that is not aesthetically pleasing. I don't like that. The kinesthetics of that, the game design of that, I don't like that. Oh! We got a little Super Mario in here. Okay.
Oh no.
We never had an obstacle like this in the game. This is pretty unique.
I failed you, Sensei.
At least from my memory, which is like, man, this game just is such a slog. So it's easy to forget things.
Oh no.
What? This is a little challenging, eh?
Big
This is a little challenging.
mistake!
A little challenging. You gotta be quick on this. You gotta be quick on that. What? Come on! What is that? Stupid little game. Hey, don't play with me. Okay, so you don't have to hurry up too much for this, because there's like a bunch of platforms like respawning there. I'm assuming it. Stop that.
Yeah! Oh no.
What? This game just sometimes kills you if you don't do good at it. What? Come on. What is that? I mean, okay, that was fair, but like the other thing, that was strange. Why would you kill me for that? It's like petty. It's such a petty reason to kill someone.
Yeah!
Oh. Okay. Oh, that's me cracking my back. Whoa! Oh, I got all the turtles on. I got the whole game.
Yeah!
Oh, those are poles. Honestly, the poles are kind of hard to tell because like everything's blue and like linear. So it's like when that thing is also kind of like linear, it's like, ooh, a ninja? They're mixing in combat and platforming. The game has never done that before. It's kind of cool, but it's like that has never happened at any point in the game. That is insane. These are straight up some VR missions. Someone's definitely a big fan of Metal Gear. Got weird itches on my arms now. So I'm saying, like, ninja? Wait, what was I supposed to do from there? Was I supposed to jump on the left? Okay. Look at that, we have like, this is kind of what I've been asking for from the game, like more engaging like platforming challenges. Because like the main campaign is like kind of, you know, lacking in them a bit. So like the VR missions, I'm kind of like hit or miss on them in Metal Gear. I don't know if I like them really that much because I got so tired of doing the same thing over and over for like 8 hours. that not what I was supposed to do? Was I supposed to kill that ninja? Because like, I don't even know if I have access to my attacks. I do. Okay, so I do. So I can kill that ninja, maybe. Let's try to kill that ninja. Alright, go ninja, die. Oh, so that's the challenge. So there was nothing else to do except kill that ninja. Okay. We had access to all the Ninja Turtles, but we didn't really need access to them. Look, nothing like this was in like the campaign.
Yeah.
At least not to this extent, because I don't remember it being to this extent. This is so cool. What would we do? Something like this was in the game, but this is so much cooler than what was in the game. Oh, look at that. I love how tiny these dudes are. Look at that. Freaking ant turtles over here. But I can still tell where they are, so it's not like a bad camp. Where are we going? On an adventure. Ooh! Oh, here we go. There we go. There we go. Yeah! No turtle shells? Oh, come on. That was pretty good. 0 turtle shells. Hey, did not unlock that, Okay, so every stage which has platforming in it, I did it. And the rest are not unlocked. Definitely not gonna go back and unlock them. Goodies. Oh! Wait. I could change their freaking... I could do stuff? There's a big head mode? Weekend weapons? Unlock this yummy goodie? I went the whole game not knowing this. Halloween baddies? Ghastly gas? What does any of this mean? The big head I kind of get. What are these? Yo, I gotta know what these are. Ghastly gas? What? Night Watcher's big head. I'm interested in Night Watcher's big head. Okay, so before I end this stream and end my involvement with TMNT, I want to know what these goodies are. Artwork and videos. I have nothing. I guess I unlocked them with the goodies. Yeah, unlock this artwork. Okay, what are we unlocking here? Oh, it's a video. Or is that just all of it? These boys look scary as hell. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty cool. It's very, very pixelated. I kind of wish we could, get a little drop folder of these images more high res, but hey, you do what you do. Okay, that looks like official little renders of how they look in the movie. That's pretty cool, little pixelated. Yeah. Well, that's all the artwork I can unlock. I ran out of shells. Okay, what? What? Okay, hold on. Wait, before we go. I mean, I gotta... Alright, so all this is toggled on. Definitely. What is going on here? Stats. What is going on with the stats? Oh, here we go. Completion. My total playtime is actually only like 5 hours. Okay. I guess. Airtime. An hour, 20 minutes. I've spent an hour, 20 minutes in the air. These are pretty cool stats. Alright, so Turtles knocked out. Okay, so it seems I have died 156 times. Turtles knocked down 9 times. I guess that's 9 times knocked down in combat. Longest combo. Oh, there's combo chains in here? For this combat system? Ooh, very deep. Foes defeated 1,201. Like I'm telling you, this combat system gets so boring. I killed 1,201 enemies. I don't think I've suffered that much in Drakengard. That's a ton of enemies. Okay, I'm lying. You killed a lot of people in Drakengard. Probably killed a lot more than that. You definitely have to kill more to get like all the endings. It counts how many times you fail a team throw. You cheeky little curs. Don't ever do that. Anyways, I'm curious about this big head thing, so let's do the big head for Night Watcher. Yeah, okay, let's do this. This will be the last thing I do for TMNT. But let's see what's going on here. Yeah, skip that cutscene.
To this day, Master Splinter, nobody knew anything about the Night Watcher.
What am I looking at here?
He just appeared, you know?
Oh! Oh! What is that? That's the big cheese. That's pretty cool. I thought it'd be like a big head of, you know, Leonardo. Wait, so what's the gas and cheese? Okay, so Halloween enemies. They're wearing ballerina. They're girly. Alright, so I got Halloween. I got some spatulas. I love these spatulas. Oh my goodness. Okay, so the spatulas are like super strong. I appreciate that quite a bit. So we got a big ass head, some spatulas, and we got the enemies cross-dressing. Alright. Fun little cheats. And the ghastly gas, I'm assuming you jump higher. Alright, so higher jumps is cool. You got the big old gas. Wait, what was that? That was gas. I don't know why the gas was there, but the gas was definitely there. I don't know what's going on there.
My attack to hit more than one enemy with a dashing move that will disorient you.
Oh, these weapons have their own little sound effect. Okay, cool. Boing.
Splinter says there's always a right time to strike. When you're ready, unleash a devastating kick attack.
Why did I go the entire game not knowing about this? I would have given it another point if I knew about this earlier, but I didn't. Alright, well, why do I have gas? What does the gas do? I can charge the melee option, so that's 2 attacks I have. I have like the boring spinny attack, and then I have this kind of cool attack, but it's like, what's the point of doing it when everything else is better?
Winning ugly is still
Okay.
winning.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm hungry. I'm kind of tired of this. I don't know if I should keep doing this. This is quick.
It's Johnny.
Yeah, I'm quitting. There we go. Ending the stream. The stream is over. TMNT is over. It's beaten. It's done. Thank you all for joining me on this rather delightfully long journey, and I will see you all then in my next video. Good night to you all. Also, that button that just got pressed is because I sat on the controller. Good night.